Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. My name's Ash. Welcome to the Xbox Live Party Podcast. And we're now up to episode 13. Fantastic. And I'm joined, as always, by my good friend Fabio, False Alucard, Slayer Exclusive, and the Jinner. And we may be joined by KY Bob at some point today. If he turns up, we're not quite sure yet. So we'll just go on with the show anyway. We can't wait any longer.
One can hope. One can always hope. Simple as that.
So, how is everybody? How's everyone going?
Doing good.
Doing good, thanks.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks very much.
I'm ready. It's Saturday. I'm relaxing. It's all good.
Are you? Are you
Getting
sure
there.
about that?
All that
Especially
Sea of
about
Thieves
the-
killed me last night, though. Oh man.
Especially because of all the trouble you had during this week because of your internet.
Yeah, no, that's sorted now. Fingers crossed. So I've been put onto a new line, and my speeds seem to be a lot better. I can actually download a game, not taking like 16 hours to download, because it was dropping. I usually got about 45 meg on average, and it had dropped. And it was not only was it kicking me out every sort of like half an hour, but it had dropped to sort of an average of 8. And as soon as I started trying to download something, it would drop to about 0.4 meg. It was just terrible. So, like I say, hopefully those issues and the cutouts and stuff shouldn't happen this week, and it means I've been able to like actually download some games. I've uploaded a couple of new reviews on YouTube channel, and we'll be putting a few more up in the next couple of days when I get round to uploading them as well. But yeah, what's everyone been playing then? We'll
Nice.
start with Alucard. What you been playing, good sir?
Oh man, I've been jumping from different games because I want to experience all like the patches, for the next generation. But I've been getting into Red Dead Redemption 2 again. The game is so detailed. I wish it was at 60 frames, but it's not. But that's a great game if you want a story game. But it's a
Would-
slow game.
It's kind of surprising that Rockstar didn't announce anything about an action update for Red Dead or GTA or something.
Yeah,
like that. Would
no.
you say that they are going to remaster it and only do that, and that's it?
I don't know. They should definitely have some kind of update. I can't believe it because that game is pretty popular still.
I think it'll be a paid Rockstar done upgrade. Like GTA 5's getting a PlayStation 5 version. They ain't going to give us they're not going to give us a free FPS Boost version. Rockstar are going to milk that bad boy. I mean, GTA 5's been on like 4 generations now. I mean, I'm sure it started on the 360, then it's on Xbox One, it's on the Xbox Series X, and now it's on cloud as well. So they're just going to keep milking it forever if people keep playing it. And it's still, isn't it like the second highest played game on Steam this week or something silly like that, as usual?
It's mostly because of the online feature, right?
I would assume so. I don't think everyone's playing the story
GTA
over and
Online
over.
is huge. GTA Online is huge. It's like a gold mine. But Red Dead Online is not that popular at all because it's kind of boring because you can't do much. Like you can't use crazy guns or have all these cars, So, but it's pretty fun though because you can gamble with people like live. It's just really interesting, I was in a gambling match and then like all of a sudden we got in a gunfight and all the sheriff was there and we started shooting everybody out of nowhere. So it's kind of interesting game. But I've been playing Zombie Armory 4, which has been patched for next generation. That game is super smooth, and if you like sniper elite games, it's the same developer. So it has the same sniper mechanics. Man, it's so much fun, man. You got to play it. Like you're just go around just sniping zombies or using all these different guns. It's great. It's a really good co-op game. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
No, one fact that I think is nice to highlight is that Sniper the Zombie Army 4 is available on Game Pass and is right now on sale, right?
Yeah, you get the base game and the first season pass for $31 American dollars.
Damn, nice.
And
Awesome.
the season 1 pass has like 4 campaign extensions, I think. So and
Besi-
then other things.
Besides the improved FPS, is there any new improvements with this next gen patch for the game? Better reflections or textures?
Not that I never played the original. I just played it when it was patched. So I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
Besides that, but it's probably I bet you it's 4K 60. I bet you.
Fair
It
enough.
is. So, you know.
Yeah, on the Series S, for what I remember, it is 1080p and 60 FPS, and on the Series X is 4K 60, and it can go up to 120 FPS. Were you able to test that?
No, I don't have a TV that does 120. So I wish.
I'm the same. I
Fair enough.
really want a 120 TV.
I know, man. I'm missing
Is
out.
there is there anyone from here from the podcast that has a TV that supports that?
No.
My
No.
TV tells me it can do 120 1080.
Mhm.
I don't think it can. It's got game mode, which sometimes tricks the Xbox into thinking it's doing 120. But it's a 4K 60 screen, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a
Fair enough.
4K 60 TV that says it can do HDR, but half the time it doesn't do HDR. It just lies to me. It's like it can only do it on certain things, like movies. Movies, it works fantastic. Gaming, it just doesn't want to do it on the Xbox because I haven't got the right. It hasn't got the right HDMI port in the back of the telly. I don't understand it, but I was like, all right, whatever. But Netflix, it looks
Because
great with
after-
Netflix. So
Because after all, who would buy a TV only for gaming, right?
to be fair, I bought that last
No
on the
one
last
does.
gen, and there were no HDR wasn't a big thing back then, and now I'm gonna have to get like a better telly next time. So we shall
Fair
see.
enough.
What have you been playing,
HDR
Slayer?
on Sea of Thieves is beautiful.
Yeah, well, it looks
Yeah.
beautiful already, but I'd like to see it look
Yeah.
nicer.
Oh, it's
Nice.
gorgeous, man. On a nice TV, it 4K 60. It's amazing. Yeah. So for me, I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite. I did a couple matches, because I'm a little interested in the pass right now because it has some cool characters on there, like Raven from Teen Titans. That was kind of interesting.
Nice.
So I'm trying to get that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. I also checked out the Alloy skin that they skin that they added in there from Horizon Zero Dawn. Played a little bit of. I'm trying to just kind of. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Defiance 2050 is shutting the servers down next week. So I've been playing a little bit of that, trying to see what that game was about because I never actually played it. I played the original 360 version. And I think this is like a remaster or remake of that one. Definitely can kind of see why it's being shut down. The graphics look like they should be like on early Xbox One or like late Xbox 360. So, but it's interesting. It's an interesting game. Definitely, it shows its age. So playing a little bit of that. Gonna try to finish off the main campaign if I can before it gets shut down. And then played a little bit of Sea of Thieves. Getting back into Dauntless with a couple of buddies of mine. And other than that, just Rocket League here and there. That's about it. Not sure what I'm planning on playing next, but probably that cloud game, that the Rain on Your Parade, I think it was called.
Yeah,
I think
Rain
I
on
wanna
Your
try that
Parade.
this weekend.
Ah,
Yeah, that looked interesting, so I think I'm gonna
Fair
play that like today
Yeah.
or tomorrow.
The worst thing is there's an achievement where you have to leave it for an hour doing nothing, which
Yeah,
is
that's-
so annoying.
That's so bizarre.
Okay.
Like,
I did it when I was doing the ironing. I just
Sit
left it
idle,
telly
huh?
on in the morning when all the kids had gone to school. I did all the ironing and all like the hoovering and stuff, and
Okay.
just left it on in the background. But yeah, you have to not move on one level for an hour to get an achievement.
Wow.
That's it.
That's so
What the
bizarre.
hell?
Okay.
Was that
Good
a
to know.
secret achievement or secret
No,
achievement?
it says on it. I don't think it's secret, but I checked all the achievements anyway. Once I finished the game, I played the story through to the end, and then I checked the achievements.
Oh.
But there's no point going for some of the achievements till you finish the campaign because they only unlock on your second playthrough as such.
Oh, okay.
Because when you finish the
Mhm.
game, you can then go back and do all the older levels with the abilities you get throughout the game, which then means you can get some of the achievements that you couldn't get earlier in the game, basically. So
All right, good to know.
enjoy it. Just play through it. Don't worry about it. Enjoy it, and then go back
Yeah.
and get all the stupid achievements because there's no point trying to focus on certain ones because you're going to end up having to replay it anyway. So
Cool. All right, I think I'll do
Fair
that. Thank
enough.
you. Yeah, I like games like that.
Yeah, do you know what?
Just enjoy it and then just go back to it and just clean it up.
Yeah, barring that stupidly long 1 hour achievement, all the achievements are pretty straightforward. They're easy to do. There's only a couple that are like don't take any hits on the boss sort of levels, which are slightly tricky,
Gotcha.
but I don't think it'll take a lot, to be fair. So
Cool. Thank you.
what about you? Do you know what you've been playing?
To be honest, I haven't played much games this week. So, yeah, I know, it's a controversial thing to say on here. I played half of Rain on Your Parade, which is great. I especially love the Metal Gear Solid level. I thought that was fantastic. Spoilers. Also, I've I've been playing a lot of Enlisted when I've been on the Xbox, so apologies to people who watch me stream. You're probably getting bored of just watching World War IIs and some very enthusiastic Russians saying Sergei over and over again, but it's amazing. It is such a good game to pick up and play.
And you can now watch it on the screen.
Yeah. What I like about it is you have a squad you can build up. You have multiple squads. You can increase the numbers. Now, when you get shot and killed, you instantly switch to someone else in your squad. You have your AI squad, so you're not sat around waiting to respawn and going back to the spawn point until you've died like a good 6-7 times quickly, and then you choose another squad and you spawn somewhere else. I guess really fast paced and just keeps the game going.
Nice.
I put a mate on there the other day who's not very good at shooters and doesn't like all fiddly menus. So he wasn't loving things until he got a tank, and he's the only person I know on there who can actually drive and operate the tank.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Loads of kills with it. Oh, it's impossible. I get stuck in trees and bushes. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. He went on there and just murdered people. Finished near the top. Nearly all of his kills were tank kills.
Wow.
It's a really fun game. I agree with you, because I've played a couple of games of it. The UI though, like on the menus, is one of the worst I've seen in a game. It's terrible. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I just click play and I don't know how to change anything. It's shocking. There's menus on stats, on menus on microtransaction menus. So just play it as multiplayer. You don't need to buy anything. They're only costumes. They don't do anything. So.
Right. My years of playing Football Manager has got me used to navigating these type of menus, so I'm okay with it. I'm flying through, trading people, promoting them, giving them sidearms. I'm fine.
It's such a good game, though. Like I say, I was honestly surprised how fun it is. So I'm going to be playing a lot more of that going forward. But yeah,
nice.
It's free as well. So if you do want to try it, everyone, it's free. You can just pay to get better sort of teams. You get like fully upgraded teams if you spend like 20 quid. And they're like you can get a Russian team or another team or something like that, but
it just saves time. That's it. Yeah. You're paying to save time. You can get those teams eventually. It just takes forever. It's a grind.
Like World of Tanks.
It doesn't feel like a grind because you're just blasting people in the face with bolt action rifles. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think on my first game I got like 40 kills. It's just constant death. It's amazing. It just doesn't stop because it's just there's always someone there, isn't there? Because there's so many. Like you've got the squads following you around. So.
So as an example, you're defending the beach, you're doing the Normandy beach level. If you're defending is 5 points you need to defend, and if you lose the first point, it then drops back to the second point. But the team attacking you has 1,000 deaths they can have until to capture the first point. Then if they get it, they then get another 1,000 deaths to get the next point. So that's how quick you're dying. It's like 5-10 minutes to do each point, and there's 1,000 death limit on each one.
Yeah, it's like World War II, COD World War II's multiplayer mode, isn't it? I can't remember what it was called. Was it called War or something stupid like that?
Something similar. Yeah, you capture points, retreats. Capture points, retreats. Yeah, it's great. And I've other than the Xbox, I've been playing this, which is finally my Street Fighter the Miniatures game turned up 4.5 years later. And it's incredible. If any of you like tabletop games or miniature games, this is just right up there. I can't praise it enough.
Nice.
Detail on the miniatures, how easy it is to play. Everything's just great. 2 games, 1-2, so that helps as well. I really like it when I win things.
I would have forgot about it after 4 years. Oh my god, that's a long time to wait. Holy cow!
And for anyone interested, it's made by Jasco Games, who runs the Universal Fighting System card game. So if you're a sort of hardcore sort of Street Fighter, Darkstalkers, Samurai Showdown, and all those other sort of fighting games, and there's an actual card game out there as well that these guys have been the sort of torchbearers of for a good sort of 10 years nearly now. So check that out as
Yes,
well.
the Angry Joe show as well made this one, designed the units.
Yeah.
They've also announced they're doing a Mortal Kombat one, which will work with this. So it has the same rule set, and you can put Mortal Kombat against Street Fighter characters out.
That'd be cool.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Nice. No, and it's gonna take and it's gonna take 8 years for you to receive it. Simple as that.
That's the Kickstarter way, though. I remember when the Dark Souls board game came out, it took 2.5 years to come out, and then another 1.5 years to get the expansion stuff that you prepaid for. I was like,
yeah.
My friend bought the AVP game, like the Alien vs Predators miniatures game. They took that long to bring it out. They stopped making it before he got all his stuff. So they basically, all the backers paid for it. They then released it to shops on release instead of giving it to all the backers. And then they went, well, we're shutting it down now. We've lost the license because it's been that long. It's been like 8 years now. We've lost the license. We're not making any more. So tough shit. So he only got like half of his stuff he'd paid for. So that's the sort of double-edged sword of a Kickstarter, unfortunately.
Jeez.
Yeah, I've never.
Jesus Christ.
This one is a success story, though. Don't
Yeah,
let
yeah.
that scare you off. This one is.
No, I've backed loads of stuff on
Yeah.
Kickstarter, like ukulele. I've backed a few other board games and stuff. But you've got to be patient. Unfortunately, you've got to be willing to drop the money in advance, because sometimes they can take years to come out. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you, Fabio? What you've been playing?
So, I've been playing some Gears 5, mostly the multiplayer, but I also started to replay the normal campaign, as well as I finally started to play Hive Busters. And on the Series S, man, holy fucking shit, that game looks good. It runs amazingly well. It looks awesome, and such nice details. Like, of course, the resolution is not that 4K and la di da that we see on the One X and the series, but still, such a great game. And like Gears 5, it's a game that proves to me that the Series S is a console that can continue to be considered a next gen machine till the end of the new generation. Simple as that. Like, it's so good, especially with the Hive Busters that I see. Really impressed by it. And besides that, just a little bit of Sea of Thieves that we played yesterday, as well as some Minecraft dungeons that I'm kind of addicted into grinding, and it's a curse now for me. I just love the Apocalypse plus 9, 10 to 20 that that they put in. Like, right now I'm at Apocalypse plus 9, and it's been a hell of a time for me to try to continue to play, but really enjoying that, and that's it for me.
Nice. I haven't played that much really this week. I started Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on the Ezio collection. After saying I wasn't going to do it for a while, I said I'm going to have a break. And then
Are you liking it?
I do you know what? There's a lot of improvements over 2, but I'm not very far into it. But some stuff's annoying me, but I'm enjoying a lot more of it than 2. And I really enjoyed 2, but I like how it starts exactly where 2 finishes. You just jump straight back into the story. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. Some of the I don't know where. Like I was telling you the other day, Fabio, it feels like some of the characters are written like they're evil, but I don't think they are. I just think I don't know if it's badly voice acted or just badly scripted. Something just seems a bit off, and they all come across as dodgy. Maybe that's intentional, but I'll see where that goes as the story, because I literally haven't read up on it or anything like that.
For what I remember, the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood story is actually pretty cool, pretty good as well. Like, Sure, it does have some moments where the writing is not mind blowing or very good, and it can make you think, is this character my friend or is he my enemy? What's going on here? But then it's all explained, and you will have a nice conclusion with that. But I want to see your opinion about the combat system. Go on.
It's great. I love it. It's so overpowered. You just literally hold right trigger and counter every single thing. And then when you counter someone, you then just go on an auto killing spree. It's great. I love it. Honestly, it's stupidly overpowered, but it feels right. And that was one of the things I hated about 2 was the clunky combat. And this sort of feels better, and the fact that when you counter someone and then you just shoot the other guy in the face with a gun is fantastic. I love it. I'm just running around just like massacring everyone. It's fantastic.
If
it's
you
great.
hated 2's combat, go back to play 1.
It's on my list. When I've completed an Ezio collection, I'm probably going to go to 1 before I go forward again.
You're gonna hate it. You're gonna.
I probably will. I probably will, but
like not just the combat, but also the mission designs, because you do exactly the same thing throughout the game.
Yeah, it's very repetitive. I mean, I played it last year actually, like around this time. I think I played through it again, and like I said, told you guys before, like Assassin's Creed is like one of my favorite franchises, so it still like holds a special place in my heart, and like I still enjoyed it. But like I was like, yeah, if this game got like a remake or a remaster, I would be down for it if they kind of changed up like the missions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's odd they haven't done it, because they've done 2 Brotherhood. And all that, and then they've done 3, but they haven't done 1. I don't know whether they're holding out for like an anniversary or something to do 1.
But here's the thing. I think that with Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, Revelations, and also Assassin's Creed 3, I think that for those games it's okay for it to have a remaster. For Assassin's Creed 1, it needs to be a remake.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway.
The combat,
I think they also did it because
you end up standing there with your sword like this, and 20 guys around you waiting for one of them to stand forward and try hit you, and then you do a kill, and then you stand there for another 10 seconds waiting for someone else to come out.
Yeah.
And that's all it came down to in the end, was just I just hold this button and wait for someone to attack me.
Yeah.
Got it. Next.
But I'm honestly surprised how much nicer Brotherhood looks than 2. I mean, like the resolutions on the textures and the buildings and the characters, they all look so much better. And I'm sure they both come out on the same console, but it's such a big leap up.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a different generation, and even though they're both on the same remaster, the Brotherhood looks fantastic. There's still some a bit weird. There's like the villagers walking around the town all look like they've got some sort of issue with the face, which this prey moment. They've all got like weird sort of gippy faces, and I'm not sure what's up with that. They're all like, and I've no idea why. But other than that, so far I'm only about an hour into it, and then when I start, I sort of do like one sequence, and then I mess around and find stuff for like an hour, and then I'll go and do another sort of chapter. So I haven't got very far into it at the moment. So. But other than that, I'm trying to think what else I've played. Really, I've played a couple of like smaller games. I played Dungeons and Bombs today, and it was all right. It's like a 2D indie puzzler, but I had to do it for a review video that was a bit overdue, so I played through that. That wasn't too bad. And then other than that, I have Xbox wise, that's it. But I have got 2 new cartridges for the Evercade this week. I can't really. So there was there's the Jaleco Collection 1, which has 10 games included, and the Pico Collection 2, which has 13 games included. So this is a handheld system that plays retro legally, basically, and they come on cartridges. So it brings back cartridges, and they're all legal. They're all done by the original like licenses and stuff like that. And it's a cool little handheld, which leads us into the first bit of news. Clever thing here. So
segue.
Yeah, clever segue. This week,
well done.
I think yesterday they announced that they are now bringing out a actual home console version of it called the Evercade Versus. Now, it's as you can, I put the video up of the trailer here. So basically, it's an up to a 4-player machine, because obviously with the handheld, you can only play it on your own. You can plug it into the telly and play it through HDMI and that, but you're limited to just the handheld. So what they're bringing out is the like an actual retro console that you can plug into your telly.
Nice.
Up to 4 players. It will have Wi-Fi built in, so there is a possibility of sort of online multiplayer in the future. And it'll load 2 cartridges at once, whereas obviously the handheld only has 1. Now it's you get 2 controllers with it. You can use the current handheld version as a controller as well. So if you're a handheld owner, you're basically going to have 3 when you get it. If you get a 2 cartridge starter set, and it is currently going to work with all of the, I think there's been 18 or 20 cartridges announced. There's 16 released now, but there's 4 still to come out, and all but 2 of them will work on this TV system. The only 2 that won't are the Namco ones, because they haven't got the license to use the Namco cartridges on a home console. It's only for a handheld, because Namco have got stupid licenses. But honestly, I mean, if you're into sort of retro and you don't want like just a ROM machine, you want something that's official, this machine is either the handheld or the machine is really good, because 1, it supports the actual companies. 2, instead of having thousands and thousands of random games, because I've got those retro consoles that are just like arcade parties and stuff, like the retro pies. And it's like Netflix. You just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and you never pick anything. Whereas these, they're all themed. So like there's Pico, there's Jaleco, there's Mega Cats, there's a Codemasters collection coming out, Worms. I'm trying to think. There's Atari, Intellivision, so stuff like Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 and stuff like that are on it. So there's cool like little selections, and you can just sort of pick and choose what you want to play. They've even started putting on like indie games, and like they brought that. Is it? What was it called now? It's like Alien Rage or something like that. It came out on the 360 like a year ago, and it's like Smash TV but with like aliens and stuff like that. That's on it, and it's awesome. So I know it's not Xbox related, but they announced it yesterday, and I'm all up for like promoting cool gaming technology and stuff. And I think it's coming out in November, and it's only going to be £90 for the starter set, basically, for the console. And I believe you're probably going to get a cartridge with that, because they've even teased a new type of cartridge as well. So it could either be, because they've teased arcade ports as well, because currently the ones out are home console ports, whereas they've teased they're going to bring out actual arcade. Someone's out there driving.
Sounds like Forza.
But yeah, so I definitely recommend it. Like I say, Evercade. It's made by the people that used to make like all the Blaze handhelds. So like they made Atari, they made Mega Drive ones and stuff. But I find these ones are a lot more higher quality, and also the controllers are going to have 4 buttons, like both sides are going to have 2 shoulder buttons, which means it technically can then work on more modern consoles like Dreamcast and PlayStation if it can run it. But so hopefully it'll push the sort of library up a bit more as well. So check that out, folks. It's just Evercade, and they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, and they're easy to find online. And then we're going to move into the next bit of news, which is about the Amazon Lord of the Rings MMO. Now, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago on the show when I said Amazon still haven't really said anything about this MMO. And what do you know? It's been cancelled by Amazon, which it's not surprising.
Wow.
So it was going to be a free-to-play MMO, and they were trying. They basically, they weren't the original developers of it, but they sort of went in with, I believe it was Athlon Games were the original sort of developers who announced. But then, obviously, with Amazon making their $500 million Lord of the Rings TV show, they wanted obviously to jump on that success. So they announced that in 2019, and then nothing's been heard of from since. But it sounds like the game's cancellation is because of a disagreement between Amazon and Tencent. So Tencent have bought one of the companies who were making the game, Leiyu, and they bought them in December. So Amazon have said that in light of the recent Tencent purchases, we have been unable to secure terms to proceed with the title at this time. So basically, that's another game cancelled by Amazon. That follows on from Crucible, that was cancelled. I mean, it may come back eventually, but that's been cancelled. And Amazon's other MMO, New World, is currently delayed indefinitely till they decide to release it, and that didn't even look that good then. So yeah, Amazon, even though they've got all this money and all this sort of drive to get into gaming and have their own studios and have their own game development program, they're not doing a good job of it so far.
But like here's the thing. Do you guys think that an MMO of Lord of the Rings would have worked?
Yes, because there already is
Yeah.
one that I've been playing for 12 years, and it's currently
Holy crap!
this-
Holy shit, I wasn't expecting that.
this weekend it celebrates this week it's celebrating its 14th anniversary. It's called Lord of the Rings Online. It's made by the people
Nice.
who made Dungeons and Dragons Online, the MMO. So it's made by Cryptic. Oh no, it's not made by Cryptic. Sorry, it was made by Codemasters and then Turbine. And then when Turbine went to they've split, so it's now owned by Stonebreak Games, who is basically a previous sort of like Turbine and Codemasters staff who decided they wanted to, instead of them getting rid of the game when Warner Brothers decided they didn't want to keep paying for it, they bought the IP. They've signed up with Daybreak, and they're still supporting it. I mean, it's just had another expansion about 3 months ago. It gets a big expansion every year, and then it gets sort of like 3 or 4 free mid-size expansions every sort of quarter. It's free to play. You can go through the entire main campaign for free. Obviously, after the first sort of like 30 levels, all the sort of side quests and stuff you have to unlock or pay for, but you can grind in-game currency by just doing deeds and stuff like that. So like kill 100 bears, kill this, do so many quests, and you can actually buy the expansions with that credit if you wanted to, or you can just buy the pay to unlock it, or you can just subscribe. If you're a subscriber, you get it included, all the DLC included with that, all the content. And I think they're on the 5th expansion now, full expansion. There's been Mines of Moria, Rohan, Gondor, another one I forget, Isengard, and then there's one that's just come out as well. I mean, it's showing its age. I mean, it's like I say, it's 14 years old now, so it looks and plays like a 14-year-old MMO. But they have upgraded a lot of the areas. They don't keep pumping out new content. If you like a classic MMO, sort of like WoW and stuff like that, I highly recommend giving it a try. And they did do Daybreak did a investor meeting last year, and in that it said that they're looking at giving it a graphical overhaul and a console port by 2023. So there is a chance they'll keep it going, and it'll come to console because Daybreak do DC Universe Online. So they've got experience, obviously, porting to many, many different consoles and like slowly upgrading them. Because I'm sure DC Universe Online's just got a next-gen patch as well in the last couple of months. So.
That game is still going strong.
So I'm quite happy. I know it's horrible. I hate when games get cancelled, but the fact that there's already a Lord of the Rings MMO out there that's based on the books. So it's not based on the films. It is based on the books. So it goes into all sorts of canon. It covers like you can go into the past, you can go into the future, and like all sorts of different areas. It's not just focused on your character. There's like side missions and stuff like that. I'm honestly glad Amazon aren't making an MMO because it would have probably like split the player base. And I hate seeing MMOs die. It's the worst thing ever when an MMO dies. So
not only that, but given their track record, it probably wouldn't have done so well.
No, exactly. So Lord of the Rings Online. Check that out as well. It's awesome. I've been having like a 4-month break from it now, just because I was getting a bit burnt out playing it every day. So I will be going back to it soon. But if you're into classic MMOs on PC, definitely give it a go because it's free, and I'll send you free stuff.
Okay, so after that, just remember me to never try to give any ideas of criticizing Lord of the Rings MMO ever again, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty confused now. I'm okay. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. That's it. Go on, Dad.
I agree, though. You wouldn't think it would work, but it's by far one of the most. It's got one of the best communities I've ever played in game-wise, and the scenery and stuff. I mean, the music and the scenery. You can just get lost just sitting fishing for hours and cooking pies and stuff. I mean, someone played a Hobbit, and they've max leveled their character by only cooking pies this week. That was a news article. They've gone from 0 to like 130 by just cooking pies.
That panda in World of Warcraft that levels up without fighting, just gathering stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But like what I was going to say and try to discuss with you guys is that what was the last Lord of the Rings game that we had? It was Shadows of Mordor,
Shadows of War,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've got Golem coming out soon.
The way those games work is really, in my opinion, different from what an MMO would work. Would you guys? And then I was going to ask you if you guys would think that something different from that could work also, or if they could implement some things from the Shadow of Mordor and War games into an MMO. What would you guys think about that?
It could always work. I always thought Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor were just Assassin's Creed clones. That's how I always was told it. That's what they were. It's just you climb around and you just assassinate people all the time, but you're doing it to orcs.
It's more. You can put some Batman Arkham in that.
Yeah, as well, and Batman as well. Yeah, but I've got yet to play them through. I bought them in the sale at Christmas with all the DLC, so I'm gonna put them on my list. But I'd love to see more Lord of the Rings games. We need more. I mean, they've announced a Gollum game,
I agree.
but it doesn't look amazing.
We do need more Lord of the Rings games, especially the ones who give us good new info from the lore of Tolkien's universe, because Shadow of Mordor was awesome with the new stuff that they added to the lore. Shadow of Mordor, I didn't like it very much. I'm not gonna lie, there was some stuff that I said to myself, that's bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. But still, both of them are good games and really worth it to try it out.
Yeah, we need a game like War in the North. Has anyone ever played that one?
War in the North is one of my favorite games. I love that.
Bring back War in the North. God damn it.
Do you know what?
Like the co-op game, that was really fun.
Lord of the Rings is really hit and miss because you had I'm on about. We'll talk about modern-ish consoles from Xbox, PS sort of onwards. There was that Hobbit game which is terrible. It's just a really weird. There was a game called The Hobbit based on the book, and it's like a weird platformer. It's definitely worth playing if you can find it, but it's not good. Then there was The Fellowship of the Ring, which came out when the first movie came out, but wasn't based on the movie, and they didn't get the rights to the sequel, so it ends on a cliffhanger. It's like coming in part 2, and then we never got it.
Nice.
Then there was Two Towers and Return of the King, and Return of the King is like one of the best Lord of the Rings games ever. I think I've played it about 30,000 times. It's amazing. It's so good co-ops, couch co-op. Then there was sort of like Battle for Middle-earth and War in the North, which are great RTSs. And then after that, it sort of petered off. We had there was the one on the PS2 and the GameCube, which was like Final Fantasy, which was like your party was always like 10 seconds behind the Fellowship, so you sort of watched everything as they ran off, and you're like, oh, there's the Balrog. Oh no, it's gone now. But now we've got to fight it because they've just disappeared. And I can't remember what that was called for the life of me, but it was all right. Then there was that one.
Wait a second. Was War in the North an RTS game?
No, War in the North was an RPG, which was was it co-op as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it was co-op and hack and slash or something like that, right?
So there's that one was really good. There was one. There was like I say one before it, and I can't remember what it was called, and it was really cool. No, Conquest was weird. I like Conquest, but it was that was basically like a reskin Battlefront, wasn't it? Star Wars Battlefront. Age of Summer or something like that. Google it because it's a weird game that you should play. It's like if you like Final Fantasy and that type of game, it's just a Lord of the Rings Final Fantasy game. And
Fair
then
enough.
after that, we just didn't get much until
Only
Shadows
Lego
and
games.
Lego. The Legos weren't bad, apart from the Hobbit one only has the first 2 films in, and they said the third one was coming out as DLC and they cancelled it. So that's another one that never finishes, which I hate. And then, like I say, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, I like to see like them have more magic.
Yeah.
You know, like focus on the magic part of it. You know, like Sauron and Gandalf. You know, that'd be fun.
But
Something
here's
different.
the thing: the magic from Lord of the Rings was always something subtle. It wasn't like something, and then boom, a huge fire.
Yeah,
Whoa.
there was only 5 wizards or
Showed up.
something like that in Middle Earth. So
Yeah,
there was Gandalf, Sauron, Radagast, and the 2 blue wizards.
and 2 blue wizards.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I do like
don't know
Lord of the
why,
Rings.
but,
If
like-
people can't tell, I like Lord of the Rings quite a lot.
Like
I really
you-
liked how they used to focus on it resembling the movie because I really love the movie. You know.
Yeah, that's why I
Mhm.
loved what do you call it? What's it called now? Return of the King, where you played the movie and then when you finished it, you could play the whole like all the levels through as different characters. So you're like at
Yeah.
Helm's Deep as Sam, just like murdering people with frying pans and stuff.
Yeah.
Best game ever, and it had loads of stupid
Like-
cutscenes, like behind the scenes videos about them all like talking about how they play video games and stuff, and it was just great. It was as a kid, I loved it.
You mentioned that the MMO was based off from the books, right?
Yes.
So is Bilbo Party like with the length of 10 hours because on the book for them to conclude the fucking Bilbo birthday party was just a nightmare, like 300 pages.
It's
just on this fucking party, goddammit.
It's weird how it's set up. Each area is stuck in a set time period. So like Bree is at a certain point in time, unless it's in like an instance.
Interesting.
And then as you get further into the game and into the further, it moves along with the story. And like last year or the year before, they finally got to the Mordor. So Mordor finally came out. The ring's been destroyed technically in terms of story time. So after 13 years, I think it took them to get there, and now they're starting to sort of expand on all the other areas. They're
so
going
it
into
don't
like the side
really-
books because they've got like
It's
all
not-
the appendices they've got the rights to as well. So they're going into all that
it
sort of
doesn't
stuff.
So it doesn't necessarily start since from the beginning.
No.
Starts from a certain point from the beginning. Okay, nice.
Yeah, so the way it starts is at the beginning, whichever race you pick, you end up getting pulled into like a side plot with characters that are not really to do with the main story, and then eventually they all sort of intertwine and stuff. But you're basically, your character is there to do stuff that isn't anything to do with Frodo or them. You do cross paths with them, you do odd little missions with them, but 90% of the time you're there sort of clearing the way in other parts of the world for them to be able to do their quest. And it's like when you hear about all of them helping out and stuff, like the dwarves and stuff, it shows you going in there to sort of give them a hand and stuff. And like you go into Moria with the dwarves after the Fellowship have gone in. So once they've already been through, you then go and help them like reclaim Moria in the storyline as well, which is cool.
Nice.
So
Nice.
and they've just had Arwen and Aragorn's wedding. That's just took place. So there's a whole like time locked Gondor, the whole White City. You can go up all the fucking levels as well, all the way to the top. Is one big city in the game. It's amazing.
Wow.
So
Nice.
but yeah, they've started to add all sorts. Like they don't have the rights to the Hobbit, but they have the rights to all the characters and everything in the appendices. So like they've added Lake Town and Smaug and stuff like that. And they mention it, but they just can't cover certain points of it because they don't have the license to it yet. Does that make sense? But it doesn't matter because everything's still there. It's just they can't let you play that mission. You can't like go and kill the dragon or be part of that party. But you can do everything up to it basically, and after it, and around it, and stuff like that. So it's stupidly immersive. I could go on for hours about it, but as we're an Xbox podcast, I probably should shut up. But it is supposed to be coming to Xbox. I'll talk to you about it later. because it's amazing.
Yeah, but like
Ooh.
I would like to ask you guys, we go returning to the Amazon subject, but with this announcement that the game was cancelled, what do you think is the future for Amazon? Is there any other game projects that we know they are working or something like that, or is Amazon going to do like Stadia, like shut down everything, let's restart fresh, and it's gonna take a time for us to get back to it?
They did announce.
I don't
I
think.
mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. I think they have money, but they don't have the dedication. I don't think the passion.
they don't have the
Covered
people.
before. They're wasting like
Director.
500. What was it, 500 million a year they've spent on gaming, and they haven't released a game now in 3 years.
Yeah,
Three
because it's that
failed
one guy
attempts.
who's like at the head, at the top. He's like he's not a gamer, you know. He doesn't
No.
understand games, so he just chases trends, and that's what he
Mhm.
wants, you know. And that's the problem. Like that's
Yeah.
and he doesn't listen to his people. Like his developers keep coming to him and saying like, listen, this is not going to work. Like this is like there's games out there that do this better than us. Like he's like, no, I don't care. It's this is the thing now. This is the hot thing right now. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go after it. Let's go after battle royales. Let's go after all these crazy trends. Like I said, and and it doesn't work. And then he's like, all right, it doesn't matter. It's just so weird.
Speaking of
So,
that,
are you
speaking of that though, they did announce
Well-
linking into that. They did announce a couple of weeks ago, or it might not even have been that long. They are working on a brand new IP with previous creative talent behind Rainbow Six Siege. So basically, a load of people that worked on Rainbow Six Siege for Ubisoft who don't work there anymore have set their own company up, and they've been announced to be working on a game. It says building upon 8 years of experience with Siege, we are excited to start a blank page and the creative freedom to create a completely unique experience in the multiplayer space. From our first discussion, we felt a true connection with the people at Amazon, their approach to gaming,
Mhm.
and the sheer amount of money they paid us. No, the sheer amount of knowledge, expertise, and technology available there. It's quite humbling, and we couldn't be more excited to start a studio with them. So they have announced new stuff, but honestly, I wouldn't want to be that guy who's working at that studio when you're looking at everyone else and you're like, they've been cancelled. It's like working at Stadia and being like, they've been gone. They've gone, and you're like, oh shit, where next?
They'll be like, they're all still in jobs, but whatever we make, they ain't gonna release it anyway. So just do what you want. Let's go
Yeah.
nuts.
So would you say that Amazon is in a worse position than Stadia?
No.
I think they're the same. They're probably
They got-
like in the
They
same
got
boat.
Twitch.
Yeah, Amazon have got
Yeah,
Twitch
Twitch.
and they've
That
got Luna.
clutch, that clutch, man. Oh my god.
They've got Luna though, which has the a better attach rate than Stadia already because it's got Ubisoft backing. So Luna, when they finally bring out Amazon streaming service, will have Ubisoft games as part of it. But they're doing the thing that I think Xbox should do with Game Pass, where you can pay like £2 or £3 or £4 a month extra, and then upgrade and get all of Ubisoft's brand new games. So you could have got Assassin's Creed Valhalla and stuff included free as well.
Yeah.
So it's not released yet. There's no ETA on it, and they've completely nicked the Xbox pad design. So they're not stupid because they've picked the best one to use. But until we see it out there, we can't decide. But I've heard from a few people that have used it that said it is better than Stadia, sort of overall in sort of game quality and stuff. But until it's out publicly and until we hear more about it, Amazon are in a weird position. Like those games like the MMOs and the Crucible and that would probably be really good if their streaming service was out and they had lots of subscribers. If they had the numbers Game Pass had, they're lower. They're like these games like Crucible would probably have a player base and it wouldn't have died on its arse straight away. So they're in that weird position. I feel like Amazon are in that position Xbox have previously been in, with like not enough studios, not enough games, not enough people on your platform. They've got to then get up to that level.
Everything.
Whereas Google have just shut it down and gone, "Ah, we're out, tap it, we're done." Amazon are still in there at the moment, but we just have to wait and see what happens with them.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but me personally, I feel like Amazon and I mean probably Stadia is already probably like it's too late for them, but I don't get why, like, if you see that your business is failing, right, and you're in the same space as, like, Sony and Microsoft, like, why not take a page from them? Like, maybe not Sony because the way that they're handling things right now with their studios, but like Microsoft is really successful right now because of the fact that their hands-off approach, right? They don't
Yeah, yeah.
they give their developers the resources and everything and the support, but they don't, like, they don't really make decisions for them, right? And I think, like, if
Hmm.
Amazon took that approach and just let their developers, just trusted their developers and let them do what they think is best and just supported them and gave them the resources, the money and everything, they would probably be in a much better position right now with all their games. Like, none of these games probably would have even been canceled.
The
And
problem is, though,
and
the devs that Amazon have got aren't really that big. I think the only one that's
Yeah.
good is the one they poached from Xbox, where they got the people that made Killer Instinct.
well, they had Jade Raymond.
Oh yeah.
No, that was
What was that?
Stadia.
Oh,
That was
Stadia.
Stadia.
Okay.
She's now gone on to oversee a project at PlayStation that they won't say anything about, and there's no one on it yet. But they've put a press release out about it because you need to press release everything at the moment. No matter how big or small,
Yeah.
it gets a press release.
I think
Well-
they need to do what Tencent
go
has
ahead.
done to them. Go out and buy studios. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft is doing. Also, it shows how ruthless Tencent are. When Microsoft has bought studios and his contracts are like, oh, we'll honor it, we'll still release the games. Tencent have come in there like, nah, this game ain't getting made. We got
Yep.
like a mobile game that'll make $1 billion a month for microtransactions lined up for these guys. You're nothing. Kind of get out of the way.
Yeah, you
So,
know it's bad when
well-
Amazon don't take on Tencent in a fight. Do you know what I mean? It says
So
something how
Amazon
big
need
Tencent
to-
is.
They're spending $500 million a year on nothing. They might as well just buy studios with that money and just get the
Yeah.
games they're already making. Or say to them, make whatever
Yeah.
you want, we'll fund you. Or we'll buy you,
Like-
not just fund you, because this will happen to them again otherwise.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting because there are so many approaches that they can study and then apply to do as their business model. Like Xbox right now is a good way for them to study the way for their approach. Or Sony during the PS4 generation is another one, especially during the start of the generation. That would be nice. Or Tencent as well, as you mentioned, by buying new studios. So there are so many ways for them to try to make this work, especially by not just seeing where the other companies were successful, but also where those companies failed. So try to see the arrows from Microsoft and Xbox during the Xbox One era. PlayStation now with some of their errors that they are right now doing with the PS5, and don't try to copy that. Don't try to do as it like simple as that.
I mean, if you're a developer and you want to make games, I wouldn't go to Amazon or Google because I want my game to actually
Yeah.
come out. Like,
No,
like
not
these
just
are
your game to,
artists.
not,
These are
not
artists,
just
like
not just your game to come out, but your studio to survive. Google just bought some studios, and then they decided to that's shutting down everything. Like what?
you know,
And they made a
I
decent
mean,
game, that studio, as well. It was that
Yeah,
Savage Planet, wasn't it? And
yeah, something like that.
it got DLC and everything, and then they just were like, nah, we don't want you anymore.
and
I
people
think-
want creative freedom. You're not gonna get creative freedom power from Google.
Like
Probably not.
the thing about a studio accepting to be acquired by a big company is because the studio thought, if we
Money.
end up joining their family, I don't have to try to fight and ask and implore for every single publisher of the world to publish our game. And we can survive because we now have the money for it. And then they decide to, oh, you know what? Fuck it.
Well, let's get back on track because we'll end up off topic forever if we go. We've only
Yeah.
managed to get into
This is
two
going to
two
be
things.
the longest episode.
So
5 hours.
no, it won't. So slightly good news for next gen owners, but crap news for if you've got a previous gen. It does look like Battlefield 6 is heading to be next gen only. So they've released a teaser saying that the game is coming out and they're going to be talking about it soon and all that. But the word going round is it is being built only for next gen. which I'm quite happy with. By the time it comes out, if they're going to have super massive battles like Battlefield normally does, I want to see it pushed on next gen hardware. I apologise to anyone out there who is on past gen consoles, but yeah, next gen only, baby. Buy one.
I wanna
Screw 'em,
see.
man.
I wanna see.
It may be on
level-
Xcloud.
Simple as that. I just wanna see them bringing back Levolution. And that's it.
And then
Screw last gen, man.
another good bit of information that's just come out. So, The Elder Scrolls Online, which a lot of us play, is going to let people acquire loot box items without having to pay real world money. So, obviously, you can get those crown crates in game, but you were only able to get them by either like special events or by buying like boosters of them. But arriving as part of the update 30 in mid-June, which I believe is the next gen update patch, there's going to be a new Endeavour system, which is a free edition. Now, these are daily and weekly tasks that grant various rewards, such as gold, experience, and a new currency called Seals of Endeavour. And these Seals of Endeavour can be used to buy anything in the crown crates. So, which is cool because, to be fair, there's not that much in them that I would, unless you get the rare stuff that's worth getting. So, loot box items include like XP, potions, scrolls, pets, cosmetics, and rare mounts. But it does mean that if you don't want to pay up front and you don't mind grinding, you are able then to get like get a chance to get those items. So it's a really good addition. I do feel like it may have been added and brought in because they've now got Microsoft funding. Because have you noticed? Clearly Bethesda was struggling in some aspects, or the overall ZeniMax was struggling because in the last couple of years, these microtransactions have been creeping in, and they've all become service games and that. So it is good to know that they are sort of rolling that back, and they're allowing people who aren't just buying boxes one after the other are able to at least play them. So positives and
Nice.
Nothing major to talk about, but it is a nice addition coming in the next update.
Would you say that Fallout 76 is going to have something like that?
Hopefully, it seems silly not to, because especially now they're on Game Pass, and Microsoft are going to keep them on Game Pass. It's not like it's like a short-term deal. Microsoft's goal is engagement, and what better way to keep people coming back and playing your games every single day than making them play every single day to get freebie items in games that they would normally have to pay for. So that it helps them no end.
The thing with Fallout 76 though is that it actually, first of all, it doesn't have loot boxes. And then on the other hand, it actually already has like a season pass kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you do get items whenever as you're doing stuff, like you just do quests like that, and it moves you along this board. It's like a board kind of thing, and it like gives you rewards, at every point in the board. So.
Yeah, but I can definitely see more things like that. Is what I mean. Is I can see more reward based and sort of like making you come back in and play more often going forward, because especially when they're on Game Pass, they want the amount of people on, they want the numbers up, they want the sort of attachment rates up. That's what Microsoft focus on now for their sort of what's the word, analytics as such, like their sort of user base and stuff. It's not on console sold, it's on the attachments and stuff like that. So having systems in your games to keep people coming back every day, playing them every day, like Sea of Thieves at the moment. That new Sea of Thieves update with the season pass makes you go back into the game, even if you're not paying for it. I've played Sea of Thieves more in the last sort of month because of the new season passes, just to get stupid little things. Like I played it yesterday just to get that barrel emote. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's definitely a good way, and I don't mind stuff like that because I'm not losing out on anything. I'm actually getting something for putting the time and effort in, and it's not costing anymore. So I think stuff like that and systems like that are a great way for sort of games like that to sort of continue and sort of grow. So I hope I'd rather they do that than just microtransactions all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
True.
And I have to say, like, Sea of Thieves did it really well with regards to like the fact that I think the season pass only like if you buy it, it only costs like $7 or $8,
Yeah.
and that money literally just goes into like what is it, 10 items, and
Yeah.
then there's 90 items that are free. So like if you don't want to buy it, you just miss out on 10 things. Like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and it's worth it because you know the 10 items are like worth way more than the $8 that it costs. But like if you don't want it, you still get 90 items for free. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to move on to our next topics, and it's been another bumper week of awesome news for Xbox fans. So yeah, I mean they've not been as big and sort of mind blowing as they have been, but there's been yet another steady sort of increase of news. So first up, supposedly this hasn't been confirmed, but I think it was Special Ed and Jez Corden have both said Game Pass has already hit 23 million subscribers, which is fantastic. So they last announced 3 months ago it was at 18 million. So that's a growth of 5 million in 3 months, which is more than 18? They were. Yeah, 18. The last announcement.
I thought it was
That's
20
awesome.
million.
No, 18. They announced
Holy
18
crap.
at the last one. So they've been averaging about 1 million a month. But then obviously it shows that stuff like Outriders, MLB, Day One definitely works because there's been an increase. And now, which we'll talk about in a bit now, Xcloud is now out on PC and iOS, or at least is rolling out now.
Oh, yeah.
That number can
I wanna
only
try that.
improve. We'll talk about that in a bit because I finally got my invite today, so I have had a quick play on it. So,
but like not just that, but also with all the Microsoft Studio acquisitions and all the rumors going around. Of course, keep in mind always that when you're dealing with rumors, always consider it to be rumors. But the true facts that we have are enough to make people invest in Game Pass. Like they got Bethesda, and who else are they going to buy? Like, so I think I'm gonna subscribe. Like I'm gonna buy Game Pass so then I can enjoy those games for a small monthly fee. Simple as that.
yeah, exactly. And there's also been rumours. I've not got it on our list, but I saw this. I've seen this popping up that there's rumours that Persona is actually coming within the next sort of month.
Nice.
For Game Pass. I mean, I don't know which one it is. But
About time, right?
yeah, it's one of those ones. It's going to come eventually because everything else has come from Sega now. It's like literally the only outstanding. What do you call it? The only outstanding big sort of wanted title that people have been asking for that hasn't been sort of ported over yet. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll just see. But I don't want to put it in as proper news because it's not 100% confirmed.
Speaking of it, it's about time. How are you doing, Bob? Great to have you here. Okay, he's that. That's it.
He's loading. But the good news is we're probably looking at hitting about 30 million subscribers, especially around like Halo time, end of the year, if they keep up this trend, which is pretty decent when you think there's only about 50 million Xbox Ones were sold, and if you add sort of like 5 million Series X's, that's over half of, compared to the amount of consoles in the wild, there's over half the amount of Game Pass subscribers. So it's definitely been picking up, and I'm sure I read somewhere like Taiwan or somewhere like in that side of the world, their attachment rate for new console buyers to getting Game Pass is like 80%.
Yes, Taiwan.
Yeah, 80% or something like that there. So 80% of the people that buy a console subscribe to Game Pass.
You'd be shipping more consoles there straight away, wouldn't you?
I bloody would, I mean. It's just mad. It's mad. But it's good to see. I mean, I'm sure Xbox would want those numbers to be higher now, but you can't complain. I mean, and they're only going to keep growing. If they can get 5 mil every 3 months, they'll be laughing to the bank in the future. And it's only good for us as gamers because it means more games, more exclusives, more day ones, more ports of consoles from other systems. Do you know what I mean, that we've not got over here? So I can only.
The library is getting bigger, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's here. He's loaded at last. How's it going, Bob?
Bob, are you doing good over there? Is everything okay?
I just flew in, and man, my arms are tired.
How's the fishing trip?
It was tiring. I'm wind burned. I'm sunburned. I'm just What did I miss?
You missed an extremely long discussion about Lord of the Rings.
A good one though.
We've now just discussed about 23 million Game Pass subs. That's what they're supposedly at, and we're just about to talk about the fact that Xbox Live paywall has finally been dropped. So,
before we move on, can we just say hi to Sensei in the chat? I know he turns up quite regularly, and I like his stuff.
Nice.
He's great on Twitter, and his stuff on YouTube's pretty good too.
Yes, I've said hello to him in the chat, but we'll say hello here as well.
Thank you so much for watching us.
Yeah, you definitely got to listen to his. He does like a podcast himself called Sensei's Thoughts.
Yeah,
so give him a listen. I listen to it. It's good fun.
He does have some videos where he calls buds to hang out with him and have some nice discussions. Really nice.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on. We'll have to get him on as a guest one day.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest on since you guys were guests, but now you're here permanently. Maybe it's time we brought a guest on.
That's it.
Replacing us.
You're all fired. Or maybe I should leave.
Yeah. Whoever loads the slowest is out this week.
Oh, well, I'm saying
my internet's sorted now, so.
That's it. Bye-bye.
So yeah, it just dies on webcam. That's it.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, man. No worries. Take your time.
All right.
Continue then.
Yeah.
Paywall dropped.
Yeah, so the paywalls drop. So if you are a gold subscriber, you can now play over 50 free-to-play games. So that includes sort of Fortnite, your Rocket Leagues, your MMOs that don't require you to purchase them, or Warframe, World of Tanks, those sort of games. Over 50 of them. You can play them online for free. You also have access to party chat, and I think Looking for Group as well now. For free as well, which were previously all locked behind a paywall. I didn't even know they were locked behind a paywall. I just thought it was to play online was. So
yeah, I mean the chat thing was a little crazy, given especially in this day and age where you have like Discord, where you can literally just talk for free or.
Let's not talk about Discord. Sad times. We almost had it, and then Microsoft shit the bed again.
Move along. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just. That's it.
It's overrated anyway.
Didn't offer him enough money.
Okay.
It's not like we record our podcast through it at all.
Who uses Discord nowadays? Am I right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's good. It's good. So, and I've noticed there's been a lot of Xbox marketing on social media pushing the cheapest way to play Fortnite is on Xbox Series S, and I think it's great. I love it. They're like, play next gen Fortnite at 120 frames and all that, and only $200 and whatever dollars it is. And they're like, someone was like, and someone's like, I can't wait to see someone like qualify for like a Fortnite finals with an Xbox Series S. And loads of people are like, challenge accepted. So I was like, I don't play a lot of Fortnite. I've played Fortnite like 5 times, but it is popular. People have been asking for it, and it's just one of the things Xbox wasn't doing right that they've now rectified. So there's nothing really anything you can say on that then. It's about time.
Exactly. Like finally they decided to
13 years.
Yeah, now it's time for Sony to make their cloud storage free, because that's what they don't do now. So come on, let's do that as well. The internet gaming community has been sorting this shit out recently. So tell them how you feel.
26 years and then we're good to go.
Yeah, so moving on, we've got some new Game Pass editions this week. Look at that, I've even got it on screen. Look how good this is this week. I'm well on it. So, coming to the cloud, you've got Fable Anniversary and Fable 3. so they're already out on console, but you can now play them on your cloud devices. MLB The Show 21 is on cloud and console. Fogs or Hogs, I think it's Fogs, is coming to PC.
Fogs, yeah.
And then the remaster of Destroy All Humans is coming to cloud, console, and PC, which I'm so glad I didn't buy the other month because now I can just play it. And the one I'm most excited for is Second Extinction, which is coming to cloud, console, and PC.
Everyone, this is the one that everyone's most excited for.
And it is coming to this as an early access game or whatever the Microsoft term is. I can forget what it is. They've got a special term for in development still. But unlike Grounded, Second Extinction will have achievements on launch. So,
so is it going to be a game preview?
Yeah, game preview, but with the achievements already in. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
Amazing.
Cool.
Bob
I
is so
still
excited
have,
now
yeah.
started working again.
I have Surviving the Aftermath, and that's still in game preview. That's been like in there for 2 years. But there's no achievements though.
Yeah, that's the word. Do you know what? I achievements shouldn't make you want to play a game, but they bloody put me off when they're not got them. I'm always like, well, I'll just wait to play it on Xbox, or I'll just wait for achievements. Like Grounded, I'm like, I don't want to do this because I'll end up grinding it later again for achievements. Just put them in. It takes like 10 minutes to put a bit of code in. That's clearly how long it takes.
I've given up on achievements.
That's
give up on achievements, guys. Just play
No.
the game, do it once, and trust me, it's the future. Like that cloud game, you said you left it for an hour and went off on irons and stuff. Just don't do it to yourself. Just play it through. Don't bother with the second playthrough. Move on to something else, man. It's the way. I'm happy.
How can you slap your virtual dick down though if you don't get 1,000 gamer score in a game? That's all that matters.
You play it though because you didn't get 1,000. It's like, yeah,
Exactly. Don't start that. I've seen fanboys arguing this week that people haven't got achievements in certain games, which means they haven't played a game to the point they didn't want to play it anymore. So it's stupid. But yeah, I understand. Some days I up until Christmas last year, I had a break from achievements. I just played for fun, and then it dragged me back in, and now I'm on like 100.
It was the worst mistake you ever made.
Well, I did that December while I was off for Christmas. I got like 40,000 in a month, and I was like, oh no, that's done it.
Man.
So now I'm on like 130 days straight. I haven't not got an achievement at least one a day. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
So I do have bad games though that literally I just go on once a day just to get an achievement though. So
you know what's funny? Speaking of this. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on, sir. No worries.
I don't know. I was just saying, like, Xbox actually, they tweeted out on 2 days ago, on April 22nd, beating the game and completing the game are two different things.
Exactly. It's just a form of completion. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It gives you that extra grind.
I was only going to say that. I was only going to say that achievements for this guy is like a drug. Simple as that.
Oh, for me too, right here.
Yeah.
You need some help to that. No.
I'm still
I mean,
trying to
right
wrap
now-
my head around 40,000 points in a month.
I annihilated it. I'm never doing it again. So
I'm at 555,000 right now, gamer score, and I'm not planning on stopping.
yeah. I also like the ranking system. I like that I can compete with people.
Yeah.
It gives you something to do. So on my ranking system, there's only literally me and Slayer that we don't like trade off every couple of days. We'll flick between top.
Yeah.
I don't always have to do it, but it's nice to like see that
See
you're up there with
adrenaline rush.
people. And then
The
Kid
adrenaline
Smooth
rush,
like
really.
jumped up at the beginning of the month, but he's dropped off. So shout out to Kid Smooth for not being top of my gamer score list.
Yeah, I wake up and I see Ghostbuster on there, and I'm like, he beat me. All right, this is the day. Then I gotta go back on top to be number one.
It's because we're out of sync. So I'll go on when I play, get a load of achievements.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm doing great, well, I'm ahead. And then the next day I come on when he's been playing overnight, and I'm behind again. I'm like,
Damn it!
So-
Exactly. And that's the same thing for me.
My-
When I wake up the next day, I'm like, oh damn.
my goal was 300,000 by Christmas, and I'm on 320,000 now, heading on
Nice.
to 330. So my new goal is 350,000 for Christmas, and I'll be happy with that. So
Holy
But
crap.
it is like a drug. It's terrible. It is. And
Yeah,
you end up playing horrible, terrible games as well. So
yeah.
I remember the first achievements that came out, like the original Crackdown and stuff, and they were fun. It was like, do fun things and we'll reward you, and you kind of
Yeah.
did it. And now it's, spend 100 hours chasing 95,000 pigeons across this massive
No,
map.
no.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Or go wait 1 hour without doing anything game to get 10G. What?
Yeah.
Bullet Witch, finish the ultimate extreme hardcore mode, get 1G.
See, I have a limit though. Like those kinds of achievements, I don't go after. Like there's certain ones like where you have to grind hours and hours for just like 1 or 2 achievements. I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Like for instance, like the Cameo game that I recently replayed, that came out on the 360. That game has a lot of achievements that you have to like get a grade A on like all the missions and stuff like that. And and those are worth 0. But even if they were worth anything, I still wouldn't go after them because like I tried it out, like I played through the game just just relaxing and like playing through it, enjoying it and everything like that. And it was fun. But then like and I was like, okay, I want to come back and just try it out, like try one quick level because the levels are usually like 20-30 minutes long, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And I tried out one level and it like I said, it took like 20-30 minutes and I got like a grade C. And I'm like, and I thought I was doing well, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what you got to do for A, but I'm not gonna spend the time to try to figure that out.
It depends of the combos that you are doing with each elemental warrior, actually.
Yeah, but I'm good, man. See,
I think it's something like that.
I agree. There's some games you just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the grind. I'll look at a game. I'll start a game. And I'll see what the achievements are normally before I'll play it, and then I'll be like, I'll either play this for fun or I'll play it and I'll try and get the achievements. So yeah.
So you're not a Metacritic whore, you're a gamer score whore. Is that what we're getting from this?
Yeah, but it depends on the game. Like sort of like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I didn't go for the achievements till I'd played about 100 hours of it, and then I was like, now I'm just mopping up the crap achievements, like find everything and do everything. Assassin's Creed 2 I've just played. Finished the game, then made sure I got the achievements that I was missing. And it's like Dead Rising. When I play Dead Rising, I normally just play it for fun, and then I'll pick up the achievements later. I'm still got to go back and finish Dead Rising 4 for that.
Wait a second. What do you mean with Assassin's Creed Valhalla? You didn't start saying that you wanted to do achievements. We've been this is the episode 13, and you've been like for 5 episodes saying that you are still trying to 100% complete the fucking game.
Yeah, now I am. But I'm saying I didn't really go for it. I didn't go for it straight away. I wanted to play the story first in that, and it depends on the game. Sometimes I prefer, if it was me, the way the achievement should work is they should all either be locked to story, so you get them at certain points. Like I did chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Maybe like I beat this boss, I beat so many enemies. But when they get stupidly, like I have walked 16,000 meters upside down on one hand while pressing the Y button, it just spoils it for me. So
yeah.
Like the original State of Decay. The original State of Decay.
Nice.
There was an achievement for being able to recruit certain individuals, and if you didn't get them at the right time, you had to go back and play through the whole story again.
No.
Yeah. And I hate missable achievements, like really missable achievements, or like there's one I've been playing. Well, I used to play. I haven't played it in ages. Fallout Shelter. There's one achievement in there that requires you to find one type of visitor, like get one sort of resident. I was playing I must have put in about 100 hours, and I never saw them once. And I know other people that have played longer and still not found them because it's random. And that I don't think is right either for achievements. You shouldn't link an achievement to a random drop of an ultra rare thing. That's like saying in Borderlands, you can only get this achievement if you find this exact gun, but there's 3 million guns.
But like going back a little bit from the like bad games that you played or that you try to see how are the achievements to see if the game is worth to playing or not. I'm just remembering you when you finished playing Green Fandango.
Yes, Oh, that was
You
horrible.
were so excited during the start of the game, and then you ended up saying that the game was so bad.
Yeah.
Really?
There's an achievement linked to using tank controls, and the tank controls
He
are shit.
decided to do his first playthrough with tank controls.
Well, I didn't want to play it twice, so I was like, well, I'll do it with the tank controls, and it was awful. And I even
Like,
tweeted Tim
why?
Schafer and said, "Fuck you," for putting
I
it
heard
in.
that's I mean, I haven't played it, but I heard that's an amazing game.
It's
so
a fun
kinda-
game,
Yeah, it
but
is.
the tank controls suck, and you don't want to play it with tank controls first. So you don't, unless you want to put 2 playthroughs in, it's not worth it.
Jeez.
Mhm.
Right.
I
Well,
was gonna say, I seem a bit happier right now about the way I play games. You know, I ain't chasing achievements. I'm just enjoying the games, man.
I wish I could. I wish my brain doesn't let
You're
me.
wick.
It's
to be
just
fair
something
though,
like-
in the last month, I've literally focused on like Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, and I'll play them. And if I don't get an achievement in them, I'll literally just jump on something just to get an achievement for 10 minutes, and then I can go to sleep because I'm literally.
That's weird.
And then I
I'm on a
can-
streak. I'm on a streak. I've got to get to like a certain number.
Wow.
You need the dopamine hit before you go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm-
exactly.
Give me an achievement quickly.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
the
man.
vendor.
Oh my god, it's 11:59 p.m. I still haven't gotten one.
I'm on like a 130 days streak now.
The only thing is that you get 50 Microsoft reward points
Every day as well.
if you
Yeah.
get at least one achievement. Yeah.
And if you get an
So-
achievement in a Game Pass game, you get another 10 as well. So
Okay, you got me. What,
Yeah.
50 a day, you say?
yeah, 50's 50.
Someone is changing his mind right now.
Yeah, right.
Something. It's something. I don't know.
In a week or two, he's gonna be like us.
Yeah, it'll be on like 20,000 next week. We've slowed down though. We're only on about 8,000 this month, aren't we, Slayer? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I've only
So,
got
Only
80,000
that.
in total.
oh,
I think the highest I've ever done in a month was like 25, I believe. And that was like purely off of like all those crap indie games that we talk about. That,
yeah, a lot of mine over Christmas with that. I had a load of points and I got a load for free and I just fucking grinded them. They're terrible. And I got a
I mean,
lot
there
for
was
free
that-
for testing, for reviews and stuff. And they're just, I just play them because I get given them to do like videos on, but some of them are a stretch. That bloody
like,
dating game.
during that contest that they had like over like it was October, November, the Hall of Fame. I thought I was like I could be pretty good in this, and then like I saw the one guy that won, he got like I think he was like 100,000 in like a month, and I'm like, all right, he must have like not played any of those easy games, like you know the $3,000 gamer score ones that take like 10 minutes to finish or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
but
"There's no
he
other
probably
way."
spent a fortune on them, but then he got a console
Yeah.
out of it for free. So really, he
Yeah.
probably just paid what he would have got for a console, played a load of shit
Exactly.
games, and then got a console anyway, and like a big
Yeah.
plaque saying, "I am the saddest Xbox fan this month. I got the most gamer score in 1 month." And that's like, I mean, there's like the most gamer score over like 13 years. That's a cool. I can live with that. But I got the most in 1 month is just really sad. I
I
mean,
think I got like an email from them saying that I was like in the top 10%.
I didn't get close.
Yeah. No, like
Guys,
overall, you know,
We
overall.
have a
games.
schedule here. We need to continue. No worries. We can finish it. It's
No,
okay.
no, I'm done. That's it. That was my last.
So they've
50 a day,
announced,
you say, yeah?
yeah, 50 a day.
He's still looking into it. He's like, oh, look at this.
Me and Slayer will have to do a video where it's just we discuss all of these easy achievement games for people to get them boosted up.
That'd be a good video.
There's tons. They're terrible.
I mean, I have them on my channel. Like, I have like a playlist that's just like dedicated to those kinds of games.
Look on our chat. Look on the Xbox Live Party podcast channel as well, because I put a load up in the last couple of months. They're awful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they've announced a load of first-person shooter FPS Boost Games. Oh, it's one of those days. We've got that off topic now. So they've announced a handful of games have received the FPS Boost that are all part of Game Pass, Ultimate, and EA Play. So was it 12 of them have got 120 hertz, and one has got an upgrade to 60 hertz.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
does someone want to read them off while I have a drink?
Sure.
I know the
Battlefield
60 hertz
4.
is Solitude.
Yeah, the 61 is Sea of Solitude. 120 hertz is Battlefield. Titanfall, Battlefront 2, Garden Warfare 2, Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, the other Battlefront game, Battlefield 5, Mirror's Edge, Unravel 2. Sorry, just Unravel 2, not Unravel. And then I think also another Plants vs Zombie game. I can't really see it that well.
I think that one's Take the Neighborhood or whatever it was called, the newest
Battle
one.
for Neighborville. Yeah, there you go.
Which is actually a
And then
really
the
fun
Mirror's Edge
game.
is
He is
Catalyst.
good.
Yeah. Like
Mirror's Edge
one
game's
thing,
Catalyst, not the first Mirror's Edge.
one
Yeah,
thing that
probably.
is interesting to point out is that out of all of those games, 5 games are not available with the 120 FPS mode on the Series S. Just so
Which 5 are they?
you guys. Yeah, I don't have the list here with me.
Only the best facts being spouted today. Only the best facts.
I only know that it's 5. I only know that there's only 5 of them with with this issue, but which ones I have no idea right now. Can't remember it.
50 a day though.
But-
50 a day.
That's what we should be called.
But would you say that this is some limitations out of the hardware or something else?
Probably just that. It's probably where they're getting the extra 60 sort of hertz sort of frames from. They get it from all different areas by the looks. When you watch that video with Jason Ronald, and he sort of described how it was done. They sort of like, based on each game, they can sort of either drop the resolution, do this, push extra power. Maybe these ones all just were easy enough to implement on the Series X, and then the Series S just doesn't have that extra bit of raw power. But it doesn't matter because they still look amazing, they still run amazing.
Yeah. Like here are the games that don't have the FPS boost. Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Titanfall 1.
That's only the good ones. I wouldn't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
other games I'm really excited for
I
it.
wonder why
so-
Titanfall 1 over 2. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But like, I'm really excited, even though, yeah, I won't be able to experience all those 5 games on 120 FPS because of the Series S. But still, I'm really excited for it. Still, the Series S has, 32 games with that feature?
It may be because the S runs the base console versions, doesn't it? And the Series X runs the One X versions.
yeah,
It
that
may
could
be
be it.
Maybe.
So where they're upgrading them, maybe the previous one was 30, and they can only boost it to 60 in certain games or something along those lines.
Some of those games I think were already at 60 frames per second on the
Yeah.
Xbox One and One S. I don't know. Can confirm that.
No
I don't
worries.
think the OG Xbox could do 60, could it?
On some it
I
could,
don't.
yeah.
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
If you
Well,
fed
like
the
the-
hamster inside it enough, it did.
Halo 5 was 60 on there. They made a big push for 60, that's why they killed split screen.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just-
so like I think in total it's 23 games now have FPS boost.
Nice.
And it's
Nice,
good.
nice.
It's good that you can like toggle it on and off, like if you don't really want it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's cinematic.
I tell you an update they are bringing out. I haven't got it on my console yet because I'm not in the alpha testing ring. Is the quick resume option, so you can filter your games to what's currently suspended on quick resume, and you can see exactly
yeah.
which ones are suspended. Because I haven't got a clue which ones I've got suspended. It's just a nice surprise when I click on them and they start up again. But going forward, you will be able to sort of on your your apps and your games list, you'll be able to filter it to games that are in quick resume state. So you can close them down to get a bit of a performance boost on downloads, I think, as well, or something like.
Believe it or not, like I'm still so used to like just I mean ever since like my One and my One X, I've always just like closed it, like you know where you press start and quit, and I'm so
Yeah.
used to that. But I just do it even now.
Oh,
I do it even now.
I can't do that anymore. I have to have quick resume for games because, like, I'll be playing a game and then, like, Fabio will be like, "Do you want to play Sea of Thieves?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll jump straight in, and I just know I can literally just click a button and I'll be right back to where I was. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about getting to a save point or getting to a like at the end of a mission. I can be in the middle of a fight. I did it with when I had my internet cut out. I was in the middle of the boss fight on Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, right.
And then when I switched my console back on with the internet back on, so I could get back on my game, it started up straight away and right in the middle of that fight, exactly where I was up to. I was like, that is amazing. And I found out the reason it kicked me off is because I hadn't set it to my home console. My console upstairs was set as my home, so I've swapped them, and now it won't kick me off if my internet goes out.
Gotcha.
The Red Dead 2 is quick
Yeah.
resume, which I didn't know that until I started playing it again. I was like, that's awesome, because that game still has kind of like a lot of loading screens,
Yeah.
Even
What I
with
started
the
doing
Series X.
was
Go on, Bob. Sorry.
Yeah, even on Series X.
what I started doing was when you go to your games and apps on your dashboard, you can set that whether to just list your games in alphabetical order or console type. I got mine set to last used.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they're in chronicle. The games I played last are right there at the top, and then it'll show you the last 3 days and the last week and the last 2 weeks.
Interesting.
Nice.
And when you set it that way, you always know. You can pretty much guarantee like the first 5 to 7 games there are going to have quick resume because they're still in the queue.
Right.
Yeah. What is the limit or the maximum of?
I think
quick
it's like
resume,
10 or 11, I think you can sort of push it to.
Yeah.
Depends on
Okay.
the size of the game
But
as well.
that's too
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Hearing this the other day, there's basically like 100 odd gig of virtual memory, so it can do more old games than it can recent games because it spends so much of the information to just pick up where you left off.
What
Right.
happens
The
if you
next
play
gen one will give you
Warzone?
more info. Well, that's server based, so it kicks you anyway.
Yeah, true.
Base you dropped. So.
Playing Cold War and it's like 200 gig. Now, before we move on to talking about Xcloud finally coming out, did anyone get lucky and get a Forza Motorsport beta invite? Because I didn't.
No.
No.
I applied for it, but
Yeah, I never applied for it either. So.
Oh. Well, I applied and I've not seen anyone online who said they've got in, but they've said a small limited amount have been sent out, but over the course of development they will be sending more out. So if you were like me and unlucky, don't worry about it too much. You'll probably get one in the future. So nothing much there, but I just wanted to see if any of you guys have got lucky. But the big news for people like me who've been waiting for this for ages is the cloud gaming. Xcloud as we call it. I don't think that's what it's called anymore, but Xcloud has finally started to be rolled out onto iOS and PC via the web browser. So if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, because you have to be an Ultimate subscriber, they have started sending invites out for this. They've been coming through in waves. I didn't get mine till this morning. So just check your emails and you'll just have something on Microsoft saying, please sign up. And basically what you do is, I don't know if you can see it on here, bear with me. It sets it up. So it is an app. It isn't an app as such, it just goes to the website, but it actually creates like an app sort of icon on your phone. And then it just loads it up to the website, and you log in as normal, and you can just jump straight into games. So I've not played a lot of it. I played a couple of games. I played the ones with the touch control, so I played a bit of Wreckfest earlier, and that ran pretty well. I have only played it on Wi-Fi though. I haven't played it outside on my 4G or anything like that. And I also played a bit of Sea of Thieves, and I'm quite surprised at how well it runs. But yeah, it's super simple. You just click a button. I don't know if you can see that, and it'll just load it up pretty quickly. And
Nice.
Good to go. However, the one thing I don't like about it is if someone's on the console Xbox, you play both. So if I start playing a game on cloud, it will kick whoever's off a game in the other room. Now, if you're watching Netflix or something, it's fine. But my son was playing earlier, and I was like, well, while he's sat there playing on that, I'll have a quick play of this and see what it's like. And yeah, it wasn't. You can't have both.
And then you just hear him, hey, Dad, what are
Yeah,
you doing?
that was it. Yeah.
And then you just answer him, tough shit, son. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, it's I don't know if you can see that's into Sea of
Yes.
Thieves.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
It is loaded. Nice.
It's loading faster than the one series.
The console.
Yeah.
What?
Loads faster than Fabio's old Xbox did when we were waiting like 20 minutes. But yeah, so far, so like I say, I'm only playing it on my phone. You can actually play it, I think, through the console itself. I don't know why you would need to, but
I think the idea in the future is that when you're downloading a game, you'll be able to load it on Xcloud and start playing whilst the download's coming down if you want to. So you'll get slightly worse quality, but you can start playing immediately.
Yeah,
Or
no,
if you're at,
exactly.
like your friend's house, and you're just on your account, he doesn't have that game downloaded, like Jin is saying, similar situation.
That's a good idea. Actually, I didn't think of that.
Not only that, like there might be games that maybe they're next gen games, but then you really have the original Xbox.
Yeah.
One,
When
and
they
then
when
you
they
can
upgrade the server blades to Series X blades in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Be like, I have an Xbox One OG, but I can play Battlefield 6.
Yeah, imagine how many
Yeah,
people would sign up for Game Pass though if you could play next gen without having a next gen console. It'd be so much easier.
That would be. That would be
But so
really
I'm gonna play with this over the next week, like out and about, and like when I'm on my break at work to see what it's like. Because in the UK we don't have amazing phone internet. Like I've got 4 and 5G, but half the time it's super slow compared to like normal internet. So it works sort of fine. I don't have any issues when I'm doing it over Wi-Fi. But I'll have a play with it while I'm out and about, and like I say, look, that's it. I just click load, and I'm already into Sea of Thieves.
Wow. Nice.
So, oh, look at that! I've got a deed progress for visiting an outpost. So,
Fabio looks very
I know,
hungry right now.
that's it, guys. We lost our host. He's going to now play some thieves while we are recording. So,
Yeah. All right, Fabio, you're up.
simple as that. That's it for me, guys. So, any more thoughts so far about the Cloud Dash?
so far, like I said, I've played it previously with the controller. I've just been playing the sort of with the buttons and stuff like that, and it seems to be all right. But like I say, I wanted it originally so I could play it while someone was on the Xbox here. Like you can on the sometimes I'll jump on Sea of Thieves on my PC when someone's on the Xbox or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? But I can't do that here. Which is really I find odd. But maybe they'll change that in future. But
It's still a beta. It's still a beta, so probably they will work on that.
we'll see. It is still in beta,
We
but
hope so.
I'll give full reviews obviously next week. But because I say I've only played it for about an hour today. But so far I'm glad it's finally out. I'm going to try it on like one of those. I've got a Windows Surface tablet laying around somewhere. I'm going to try it on there, and I'm also going to try it on my laptop, just because I don't like having stuff installed on my laptop because I don't play them enough to have them. Like I've got Sea of Thieves, Gears 5, Flight Sim, and all that, and they take up so much memory. If I can get them on the cloud in the future, then it'll be so much easier. Because I don't care if they're the PC versions or not. I'll just play with a pad. I'd rather play with a pad anyway. So. And I'm sure Phil said the other day that they're going to eventually bring PC games to cloud as well. But at the moment, they're focusing on console, as that's the main priority.
Which means you'll have PC versions of games through the web browser on your Xbox.
Yeah, and Sensei said, is it the same gamer tag login? Yes, you're basically logging with your Windows or your Hotmail account. Is it still? It's not even Hotmail anymore. It's Outlook. But you log in with your email account the same as you do on your Xbox and stuff like that. And basically, it lets you play. But I'd log in with the same login on my PC to play Anywhere games. And I can literally play this on my PC while someone's playing on the telly. Because I was doing it the other day. I was playing Sea of Thieves, not Sea of Thieves. Call of the Sea. No, Call of the Sea, while my son was playing a game, and I kept getting achievements. He's like, "Dad, it keeps popping up on telly. I've got achievements." And he was trying to race, and there was some achievements popping up over what he was trying to do. So why can I do that, but I can't do it on cloud? There's no reason for it. Get it sorted. But other than that, that's the only negative I've found so far. Like I say, it may be absolutely terrible when I'm out and about on actual phone internet, not on like actual Wi-Fi or home broadband. But we'll have a go, and I'll obviously give better sort of views on it next week. I want to try. I want to see if I can attach, because you can attach your the new headset, can't you, to your phone. I want to see if I can attach that headset to my phone so I can party chat with people while playing it on cloud. Because when you're on the cloud thing, you can open it up and see all your friends and stuff like that. Like you get the blade still come out with who's online and stuff like that. So I want to see if I can attach my headset and sit here with my phone and my pad and still talk to people like I'm playing on it on the Xbox with yous. So maybe I'll try that during the week. Because if that'd be cool. Because that means if I'm out and about somewhere, I can literally just stick party chat on chat and still play. Do you know what I mean? I think that'd be a really cool addition if it works.
Yeah.
I think I have a suggestion for you. So you're saying that your son plays on the console that's near you right now, but that's not the one that's the home console, right?
No, that is the home console now.
That is.
So my One X upstairs was my home console because I set it up when I first got it. Then when I got my Series X, I just literally unplugged the hard drive and plugged it in downstairs. And I've never really needed it because we never had any internet problems, so I've never noticed it kicking out or anything like that. But obviously, if it's not your home console and your internet kicks out, it can't verify you own those games if it's not your home console.
Right.
So I've set my home console to my Series X now, so if there is any more problems, it doesn't cause havoc downstairs, basically.
And so now, the console that he plays on when it kicked him out while you're trying the Xcloud
was the home one.
Is the home one. Okay. And it kicks him out?
It basically it pops up on screen saying you are playing in another area on another place. Do you want to play here as your main play or not? So he either says yes or no, and if he says yes, it kicks me off, and he keeps playing.
Now, is your profile, while he's on there, is your profile active? Like, is this signed
Well,
in?
he plays on my profile because he's only 6 and he's playing racing games. He just uses my profile. Obviously, if he was on his own profile, that wouldn't be an issue. But because he's playing like on my console, for now, he's not having an Xbox account because he's little. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And also, Gamepass is linked to me, so all the games he wants to play are free on Gamepass. So he has to use my account basically.
Well, not if it's your home console, though. I don't.
Yeah, your home console will be fine.
Yeah,
as long as he had his own account. That's the only thing.
You do have the option to put your hand on his shoulder and say, "Son, you are now all grown up. Time to work for your shit."
Yeah, but he's been playing some like old racing games like Toy Box Turbos, and he keeps unlocking achievements. So I'm like, I'm proud of you, boy. I'm proud. So he comes running in and he's like, I've got an achievement. I'm like, yes.
I was looking at the leaderboard. I'm like, is he really playing these games or like?
I do play him a bit with him, but he'll just randomly play random old games because he only plays racing games pretty much.
Yeah, I also saw the Garfield racing one.
Yeah, that's not me. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Although I did get the 1000G on Race with Ryan with him because that's not actually that bad a racing game. So
nice. Okay.
It's
Is there like a big difference though between like console streaming and cloud streaming? Like
the console streaming, it just sends it off your console. So your console, you are basically it's double screening you. What it shows on your screen, it shows on this screen as well. So what's on your telly is on this screen. Cloud streaming, it comes from Microsoft, not your own console, basically.
Yeah,
because like console streaming either.
The console streaming, I tried it and it seems like it works fine.
Yeah.
I even like matched it. I was looking on my phone and my Xbox, and the same game was on both screens, and they were exactly in sync. Like the movements were perfect. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about the console streaming is that when you're on your home Wi-Fi, it's great. When you're out there on your 5G, it is completely dependent on the internet connection at your house.
Yeah.
And if anybody else starts to video chat or anything or use any of your bandwidth, you see it immediately on your 5G.
Yeah.
Now, what if your console is wired though, hardwired? Does that make a difference? Or?
It'll still take some of it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you need to have the Xbox on or not.
It sort of runs it in sort of off. Do you know, like when your Xbox Series X updates itself as it overnight and stuff? It updates your games. It's basically like that. It doesn't have your Xbox isn't on like on the telly. It just runs as if it is on, but it's off basically.
Right.
Oh, okay. Sleep
I've
mode.
started
okay.
I've started console streaming before from the other side of the house on my phone, and then while I'm playing, just out of curiosity, I walked back to the study where my Xbox is and look in on it, and the light on the console is not even on.
No, it reserves it as much as possible. So
That's pretty cool, though.
yeah, so hopefully it keeps improving, like I say, and it'll be fun. I'm going to try loads of different things. I want to see where the because it's based on the website. I wonder what other things it'll work on. So I'm going to have to see if I've got anything that it'll work on to sort of test. So I know it doesn't work on the Switch. I've seen videos where it looks like Nintendo doesn't allow it, or their internet browser doesn't have the capability for it. I don't know if it works on PlayStation. I've not seen that. That'd be funny though.
The new PlayStation doesn't have a web browser.
Do you think that's why they got rid of it?
Probably.
It would make sense in advance, wouldn't it, to be like, hang on, if everything's going streaming, people could use that. So
I think the big thing I've taken away from all this is that Ash is using child labour to beat Slayer's gamer score.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I've got them.
That's
like
a point of
dead.
view.
That is not fair. It's not fair at all.
It's family.
You should chalk
Family.
those ones off. Slayer should be able to take those off your gamer score. Any achievements from the little one.
Life's a bitch.
That's all right. I still have a pretty good lead on him. I don't think I'm in.
I don't think I'll ever catch him up overall, though. He's like 200,000 ahead of me. I just like keeping up with him month to month. It's funny. We're sort of like at an average even, aren't we? We get the sort of same every month, so we're not going anywhere.
It's funny. You just said in this episode that you need 1 achievement to sleep well.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'd like to know I've got it.
That crazy. I don't like if I don't get an achievement in one day, I'm fine. Like because I'm not going for that streak that he's trying to go for.
Well, once I was going to go to 100, and I got to 100. I was like, finally, I can stop doing this because I'm not going to lie. Some days I just didn't want to do it, and then my wife was like, "You're going to keep going, aren't you?" And I'm like, shit, yeah, I am. So I'm at like 130. I'll get to 150 and I'll see how I feel. But to be fair, I've been quite enjoying playing like these Assassin's Creed games and that. So I may stop. I may not though. So someone on my True Achievements friends list is on day 580.
Oh my god!
I don't think I'll ever get near that. I'm sad, but I'm not that sad.
Like when Ash finished to do his 100 achievements, the same thing as Frodo finally destroying the ring. Like it's done. Oh my god!
We have had a question in chat actually from Azazel J. Sorry if I butchered that. Any old games you guys would like to see remastered, like from PS1 to Xbox? And we all know the answer. It's all those Lord of the Rings games we spoke about earlier. So Return of the King,
I agree.
War in the North.
In chat, it's Soul Reaver is the correct answer you're looking for.
Yeah, Soul Reaver needs a They did a sequel as well, didn't they? But it was not as good.
It's not as good.
Toy Story 2. I want a Toy Story 2 remake. That's
That'll be
exactly
nice.
the same game. I don't want it to change because the game is perfect, but just make it look like they did with.
Rugrats. It was the same game, just different skin.
No, it wasn't.
The one Rugrats game is the same as the one Toy Story game. Someone pointed it out to me recently, and the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, it's the exact same layout.
Like from the PlayStation 1, I would love to see a return of Tomba or Tombi in the UK. It's such a good platform game. Really nice.
I used to love.
Oh
yeah, the Vice City. It's got to be Vice City. It's got the best music. So, PS1, I used to always love Medieval, but they've remade that now. But I didn't like the remake. I just didn't think it was as good. It was an alright game.
It was interesting.
It wasn't as good. So. Fable 1.
I mean, that was my first time. That was my first time seeing it. Oh, Fable 1, yeah.
Full Fable 1 remaster, not just
Fable trilogy. Let's go.
Yeah, not just the graphics. I just want it. It's very dated now. It plays very. I love them, and they're some of my favorite games of all time. But they are so bloody.
Every area is a loading screen.
Yeah, you literally walk like 10 meters into like another building, and it's like loading screen. You're like fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Alucard, it's you, Alucard. I'm reading this thinking someone in chat's put in. It's you. He's put Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
The game was awesome.
What was that game called?
was-
Thingy of Darkness on the GameCube. You know the one where it messed with you and switched your pad off and turned the screen off and it spun it upside down.
What?
Do you not remember that? Oh, it was such a weird
never heard of that
game.
one.
What's it
Interesting.
called? GameCube. Dark.
Are you going to Google
Eternal
this in the
Darkness.
middle? That's
Eternal
the best way to,
Darkness.
like,
Honestly, you'd go into a room and it'd be like your controller has unplugged, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And it would just mess with you. And it's like disk has been ejected, and then stuff would just randomly happen. It was like a
That's
horror
so
game, and it was trying to sort of like psychologically get to you. But that was fun. What about you, Bob? What would you like to see?
from PS1 to Xbox.
Is he
I
there?
don't know. I'm here.
It looked like you'd frozen or you died.
We can't tell if he's sleeping or
Hard to
not.
tell with a shade. It's sleeping.
Yeah, he could be sleeping there and we don't even know.
No. I'm having a bit of a brain lapse right now. I can't think of any PlayStation 1 games. That
Let's go.
I mean, like the great ones have
Tarzan
already
game.
been done.
Siphon filter.
Siphon Filter was good.
Bishi
What
Bashi
is really
special.
not good? Do you remember that very first 3D platformer that was on PlayStation called Croc?
Oh, Croc needs a remake.
Oh my
I love
God.
Croc. With the really bad tank controls.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was the first. It was actually the first game on the PlayStation that took advantage of the very first analog stick controller.
Yazoo! And you like smashing
By the way, I
crates.
don't think we mentioned Zazer J commented. He said, "Oh, good choice. I'd like to see Legend of Dragoon."
Oh yeah, that'd be good
Nice,
as well.
nice.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to see Bubsy 3D. No, please. Don't do that.
See, I'm personally, I'm a little out of the loop because I've never owned a PlayStation 1, so I don't even know like what games it had. Honestly,
You never played Glover?
Never played Glover.
I never owned one. So I think my first PlayStation console was PS2, and I only had like 3 or 4 games on that before I moved on to Xbox,
Oh
and then
my
I've been an
god.
Xbox fan ever since.
You just lost an amazing era of gaming.
Can we
Yeah,
mention
I mean, I was
something
young.
that? What about a game that I don't know if this game came to PlayStation or Xbox, but Bonk's Adventure.
That'd be
Like,
cool.
I
Yeah,
would-
I've
yeah.
heard of the name, but
Nice.
not
I mean,
familiar.
it was a TurboGrafx game originally, but I thought it came to like
wow.
PlayStation or somebody. It came to somewhere platform,
Oh.
but
PlayStation 1 had so many great games, man. It's hard to choose.
Did anyone ever
Dragon
play?
Flash,
Was it? What was
Intelligent
it?
Cube.
Oh, I can't remember. Not State of Emergency. Freedom Fighters.
Yeah. it's a great
Freedom
game,
Fighters
Freedom
needs a
Fighters.
remake. Freedom Fighters was
GameCube
awesome.
version I enjoyed more than the PS2 version
Yeah.
as well. Great on the GameCube.
It was such a good game. Bonk's Adventure came out on the TurboGrafx and the NES.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that game was awesome though. I
Hmm,
would love to see
Bonk's.
that get
I loved
remade.
the NES. Used to jam my finger in there, putting cartridges all the time. What a great console.
Looks like Sensei agrees. Bonks, he's saying. Definitely.
I used to love. The only things I can remember from like NES and Atari era, other than what I've played in recent years, was Food Fight, which was amazing. You just ran around throwing shit at chefs as they tried to like chase you, and Impossible Mission, which is just you kept going up and down in elevators and stuff all over the place. And I was, as a kid, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I played it for hours. I don't think I ever got anywhere. Your map slowly opened up the more you went around, so you were just going up and down, and there were like robots getting you and stuff. But for years, I couldn't
That's
remember what it
basic.
was till I found it, and I didn't even realize I had an Atari. I was that young.
Yeah, you guys are probably gonna be surprised by this, but my first console was a Sega Genesis, and then after that, I got the PlayStation 2.
Wow.
That's like how far, like that's the gap. Because, like, I've never owned a Dreamcast. I've had a Nintendo 64 and a GameCube. But I've never had an NES or a SNES or definitely not TurboGrafx. So yeah, I mean I've been out of the loop for a lot of these. So.
To be fair, I picked up a Dreamcast this week, just gone, and I've started getting some of the
Nice.
games for that. some of those games need remaking. God, they're ace. They're just so weird. There's a game where there's a fish, like a fish with a human head that you have to look after, and you talk to it through a microphone. I haven't got it yet because you need the microphone adaptation. But
Oh, yeah,
Leonard
I know what you're
Nimoy
talking about.
narrates the game. I'm like, why does this not exist? Like modern day, it's amazing. And there's one that was a sequel to the Die Hard trilogy game or the arcade. They made a sequel to it, but they didn't pay for the license for Die Hard, so you've got some like random characters, and you're just like running around in like these little areas, smashing in, like fighting people, and you like pick up random stuff off at floor hitting with it. It's just crazy. I'm gonna have to do some streams of it at some point on Twitch because it's just
You definitely
absolutely.
should.
There's
I
some.
watched that.
I'm gonna get a HDMI adapter so I can put it through my capture card. But some of them, they're just crazy. And I'd love to see more of those weird sort of Japanesey style games. Like Bishi Bashi Special came out on the PS1. It's an amazing party game. I'd love to see that come back. Just weird stuff, like the more niche stuff. Even if it's not even a remake or remaster, just like a HD upscale so it works on modern consoles, I'd be grateful for. Do you know what I mean? So...
Mhm.
Right, we'll move
sure,
on
well,
to the Sony section of the podcast because there's been a
This
few
is the
bits of
off-topic
information.
podcast.
Yeah, the off-topic podcast. But we've had a few bits of Sony news. Do you guys want to start talking? We'll leave the top one on our to-do list till I get back. Do you want to start talking about the Movie Pass news? Because while I just nip off for a second.
Sure.
No worries, no worries. So first of all, for this Sony moments here that we have during the podcast, we have some strange news, some interesting news, and for some people it can be, and we do have some good news also. I could say that some of them are okay, some of them are good, and other ones are just interesting. Sony just announced what is it called? A movie pass of some sort, something
Video
like a
pass. Video pass.
PlayStation Plus video pass. So basically, how could this work? Could this be the way that is this some sort of Sony trying to become a true Netflix, or instead of a Netflix of game, becoming a Netflix of itself, something like that? What do you think, Slayer?
I don't think so. I think it's just they like, as we probably all know, like Sony owns the rights to a lot of movies. And so I think it's just like they're just trying to add more value to PlayStation Plus. I mean, personally, as a gamer, I don't think this is like it's cool, but like I actually don't really watch, like I barely watch TV to begin with. Like I mostly just play video games for my spare time. So like for me, this news is cool. Like I'm glad. Like it's an interesting thing that they're trying to do. And then if anyone's out there that loves movies and TV and they love to game, then and they own a PlayStation and have PlayStation Plus, then this is a bonus for them. But personally, I think, I mean, like I said, it's cool, but is it crazy? Like Game Pass equivalent?
Yeah,
No.
it's interesting. It's kind of interesting if how they would do this. But for what I heard, it's just gonna be only available on what is the name of it? Poland? I forgot how to pronounce that. The name of it is like it's going to be available on only one country and only for a year. So I think for what I heard, I can't confirm which country it is because I forgot the name, and I don't know if it's going to be for a limited time. But I don't know if they are trying to do some experimental thing with that. If their idea is to do that, why wouldn't they try to make it available for everyone then? Like, let everyone then try to enjoy this. If you guys want to make this to be truly a thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
Sensei actually makes a good point in the chat. Like, and that's kind of what I was thinking about too. It's like we've had these conversations before where Sony, it seems like they're kind of heading the direction that Xbox was when the Xbox One came out, where their messaging was a little bit mixed, and it seemed like they weren't really there for the gamers, right? It was about everything. They wanted to be the all-in-one entertainment system, and they were like, oh, they were focusing so much on TV, and we remember all those funny memes and everything that came out of that, and
Yeah.
it seems like that's what Sony's doing now too. Like it's like they're trying to be the one-stop shop for everything, and they're, I guess, trying to like leave gaming behind, or I don't know, not sure.
No, they wouldn't try to leave gaming because look how much money the PS4 gave to them, and look
I mean, yeah,
how the fact that the PlayStation 4 was so successful last generation that it was able to help them a lot with the PlayStation 5 sales. People were only had the only idea that PlayStation 5 is going to have Demon Souls, and still was able to sell a ton, even though it only had like one exclusive game only for the PS5, because all the other games were available on PS4 as well.
I just feel like they're
So-
getting like comfortable, like too comfortable, or they're just losing sight of what's
Arrogant.
important,
Would you say they are trying to they are getting arrogant?
Yeah, a little bit. Exactly.
Like just like the Xbox did when they finished the 360 era and went to the Xbox One era.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I think they're scared to put all their games in a service. Sounds like. But,
So they decide to fix that by putting movies.
Movies. Here you go.
yeah.
This is our alternative solution.
Well, I think
No.
I think Sony's getting ready to start up their own network, like Paramount has, and like Discovery and History and all those. And they're gonna make it a perk. They're gonna make it a perk with their PlayStation Plus subscribers that you get access to our Sony Entertainment Plus subscription.
I mean, it's getting annoying though. All these companies have their own services, and it's annoying, man. HBO, Disney, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, oh my god.
Sony have just signed 2 deals, haven't they? So they've signed one to put all their movies to Netflix
Yeah.
over the next 5 years or whatever it is, and then all the Spider-Man movies are going to come to Marvel on Disney Plus, but they'll go to Netflix for a year or two first, and then move over, or something stupid like that.
It's when it's at launch, because I think they're going to do them day and date with cinemas. They're going to go to Netflix, and then after that sort of period, they're all going to go to Disney Plus. No, it's not just Spider-Man. It's all Sony films as well.
Oh, okay. I thought it
So
was just
no, from what I can gather, it's coming to Disney Plus as well. What I was reading the other day, it wasn't just Spider-Man; it was all of them. So because they were saying about some of the other upcoming releases that you wouldn't think would be a Disney Plus thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's obviously in America it's coming to Hulu, and then in England it'll come to Star on Disney Plus over here. So yeah, I think Sony would rather, they just want to get that big fat paycheck and not have to worry about it. So they're going to put it on Netflix, they're going to put it on Disney or Hulu or whatever. And then I think with PlayStation, I don't know, it's a weird one because obviously it's only like a trial thing. It looked to me more like it was sort of a spin-off of that PlayStation PS4 like Ultimate Collection thing. Do you know what they've done for PS5 owners, where you get like 25 games, like the best of our stuff, and you get that as, for a limited time. I thought it sounded like that was going to be like a selection of movies that you could get for a limited time if you're a subscriber, but only if you're a subscriber for that short time. And then you can watch them whenever, and you can still use them, but it's going to be like a one-off thing for a couple of months. Just as a way to do it, and then maybe in a few months' time they'll add another chunk. But it's hard to say because obviously it's on that Polish website, and none of us speak proper Polish. Like we haven't got any invitations for it or anything. And you might speak Polish. Sorry if anyone does speak Polish, but like we haven't seen any we haven't got any sort of notifications, or there's not been any official press releases by anywhere really
of how this is going to work.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting idea. Of course, like it's kind of bizarre that they are trying to relate this with PlayStation, but I think it's interesting. Like
something weird I heard the other day, which it probably means nothing and it's a mistake, but WWE did their investor call the other day, and in it they've come to an agreement with Crunchyroll to do an anime of WWE because you need that in your life. But in the investor call, they said that Sony now owns Crunchyroll. Now, I think that must have been a mistake, but is Crunchyroll selling itself as like we're going to be bought by Sony? Do you know what I mean? Or has the deal been done or what? But
That deal got stopped, didn't it?
yeah, I thought that's what the case was. But in the investor call, I've seen it on a few news sites. They're like, whoever Mr. Khan is, who's in charge of like WWE marketing deals. I'm butchering everyone here, but he said that we've signed up to this like big agreement with Crunchyroll, who's now owned by Sony, to do an anime. So I was like, all right.
Okay.
It could just be a CEO getting it wrong or not listening or understanding what they've been told. Do you know what I mean? But they're gonna like make the biggest deal about it because they're trying to sell it to the people who are paying them money. Do you know what I mean? They're investors, so maybe they were trying to like big up the deal, like, oh, it's good because it's something to do with Sony as well. But I just thought that was interesting. It's just it jumped back into my mind. I noticed it yesterday when I was watching a YouTube video about it, and I was like, oh, that's odd.
Anyone else think Sony have been uncharacteristically quiet this gen? Like all the bad news comes out week after week after week, and they're just not saying anything.
I would say they are.
Jim Ryan had an interview last week going, "Oh, we're going to have more exclusives than ever. We're being quiet and investing quietly on the sly." It's like,
yeah, that's when they take that bag of money and they go, "Shh, don't tell them it's not coming to any other console."
I would say,
They only do like the God of War splash screen 6 years before it's due and stuff. They shout about everything, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're quiet. We're always quiet.
Like
really weird.
Like Slayer and Alucard and I discussed it. We think that Sony is just getting more arrogant, just like the Xbox did during the 360 era to the Xbox One era.
Yeah, during that transition, yeah.
It's a very odd one because, like you say, Sony are normally coming out all guns blazing, and then all the news. I mean, it's decent enough news, but a lot of the news in the last few weeks has just been a bit like very premature. Like, this is the PSVR handset, but we're not going to show you the headset. We're not going to show you any games. We're not going to give you any timescale. We're not going to tell you anything about it. And then they've come out and said, we think it'll be revolutionary in the future. Yeah, well, you're not going to say it's going to be shit, are you? And then they came out and they've announced a load of projects. Like they've announced that one with the ex-Destiny devs, who I don't think have made a game yet, and they're like, we're making this big IP, but you haven't told us what it is, when it is. And then they've done the same with Jade Raymond. We're making a project, but we're not telling you what it is. It's not got any name to it, and it's just very odd.
These things are happening now, right? They're just being set up now. So you're waiting 5-6 years till it launches.
And that's what people give Xbox shot.
I mean, it seems like it's a matter of them.
We're the ones who wait.
But if they talk about these really small, like this, it's like a project that's coming out, who knows when. If they're talking about those kind of news, and they're not talking about the new God of War or new other new games that they talked about, when are those games coming out then?
But here's the thing: they're not even talking about those big projects. The only thing that we have for God of War Ragnarok is a logo, and then everyone was excited, thinking that maybe we could have a little bit, not necessarily a gameplay or any big announcement. After all, it's just a state of play events. But everyone thought that we are going to have some sort of small info from Horizon, Forbidden West, or God of War Ragnarok, and we got none of it. Like, when are we going to release it? We know it's this year. You say that it's going to be this year, but we have no idea which month is it, or is there anything else? How is it going to work? Is God of War Ragnarok going to be only a DLC for the last God of War that we had? What's going on?
Yeah, it's weird. And then they've announced. Haven't they announced that Sony are partnering with some sort of indie company in Japan or some indie promotion to sort of help promote indie games over there? And it's just, it's very weird how they're all doing it. It's literally, it's like they got people were complaining, and then everything that's come out this week has just been like really vague and no sort of substance to it. But it's sort of like trying to combat all of the negative things that have come out. So it's like, oh, Sony aren't bothering with Japan, and then it's like, oh yes, but we are sponsoring this. Do you know what I mean? And the marketing's awful at the moment, but they are the masters at it.
How come they're supporting indie games all of a sudden?
Like the biggest problem, in my opinion, is that it seems that they have no idea how. Like the thing that is bizarre is that it seems that they have no idea of what's going on or how it's going to work their games, on which platforms are going to be available, because suddenly, first of all, it says one thing, and suddenly after, it actually is going to be on other stuff as well. Like let's go to the next topic of our schedule. PS5 exclusive Godfall has been rated for PS4 by PEGI. So
yeah, it's bullshit. It's just Sony spin.
Do we believe in generations, or what's going on? Like, great to hear, great news for only PS4 owners, but still, that's bizarre.
Have you ever heard?
Generations. We believed in generations when it was going to sell consoles.
That's it. I was going to say, have you ever heard of a console generation where a console generation launch with loads of games on one system and then they backported them all? It normally goes the other way. Do you remember? I don't ever remember Halo 3 coming out on Xbox 360 and then they're going, and we're going to now bring it back out on Xbox on the original. It just doesn't do that. They've literally delayed all of the PS4 ports that were clearly going to come out anyway, and literally wiped the fucking slate clean on all the trailers just to flog PS5s. And it's the most dirty, underhanded type of advertising. I understand why they've done it, because they want to make PS5 look super impressive. But if they'd done that original PlayStation showcase where they showed all the PS5 only games, and they said, actually, Sackboy, Miles, Horizon, Godfall, all these games aren't actually coming. They're all coming on PS4. You wouldn't rush out and buy a PS5. They literally lied about it to sell consoles.
But also, is it because there's not enough PS5s and they're all being scalped? So they're like, well, we have to put them on the PS4. You know, we have to put these games on PS4 now. It could be that too. I don't know. You know, like.
Like, it's really bizarre what's going on. Like, is now Demon Souls going to be available on PS4 soon enough?
Is Godfall going to come out on other consoles? Demon Souls even said it would come into PC on the bloody trailer. And don't tell me they got that wrong. There's no way no one watched all those trailers and went, hang on.
I think Godfall is supposed to come out on the Xbox, though.
At some point,
eventually.
Godfall, for what I heard, is going to be a temporary exclusive.
But why
did
Gamepass
ain't touching it?
Yeah. It's just so weird. It's so weird. I just don't understand it.
Talking about exclusivity, we have exclusive games. We do have exclusive features, but I never heard of exclusive performers as well. Like, what's going on with Sony Blocking Resident Evil and all other stuff about
right
it?
So we'll explain this a bit more. So a supposed leak of a contract between Sony and Capcom came out this week. Now supposedly it basically states that the game has to have what's the word, sort of performance parity across all all releases for consoles, and also it can't appear on Gamepass and other subscription services.
Not even hooked up.
For subscription services for a year from launch. Now there is a chance this is fake. I did see some people online that said the legal wording is right, but you could easily switch out stuff. It could easily be a mock and a fake. But to be fair, we've got to remember Xbox also had in previous generations. You can't make it worse on Xbox. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know if that meant other consoles could be better, but they made sure that the Xbox version was as good as it could be. So the parity thing sucks, especially when it's the weaker console that's got the parity clause in. It wouldn't matter if it was the
Yeah.
other way around because it would be fantastic. But I'm more bothered about the Game Pass
No, but
thing. But it wouldn't surprise me if Sony is locking game titles down. They'll, especially now MLB came to Game Pass. They ain't gonna let that happen again.
but like,
They
but
got
like that. I know that Xbox did that on the past, but that's still fucked up. That's totally and a consumer. That's really stupid to do. And about that Game Pass thing, I really hope that is fake, because is this PlayStation's Game Pass counterpunch? Are they going to now just you can put your game on Game Pass during one whole year instead of trying to do a decent service to compete with it? Are they going to try to do this? I really hope this thing is fake. Not because, oh my god, I want to play Resident Evil 8 on Game Pass, but because I want to see Sony trying to do a service like Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
it's
And make
apparently-
everyone stop saying that Game Pass brainwashes people.
Apparently, Sony is saying it's not sustainable business model for them to do. But what is sustainable for them to do is to pay to have timed exclusives and people not put games on Game Pass. They got money to burn for that, but they ain't got money to put their own games on their own service. So,
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I mean, I hope that's not the case, because I could see Resident Evil coming to Game Pass. Previous Resident Evils have come to Game Pass, and games with gold and stuff. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, that's still not appeared, and it wouldn't surprise me if they've added a clause in and paid some more money to keep that off of Xbox. Final Fantasy XIV, there's no reason that's not on Game Pass. The Square Enix excuse is terrible. Wouldn't surprise me if that was an exclusive deal. Companies do that. It
Wait
wouldn't
a
surprise me if Xbox has done it. They just haven't got caught. I hope they haven't.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that you don't believe Square Enix don't have the resources to put it on Xbox?
I don't know.
but they're working on 12 games.
I
You know?
don't know.
I think as well that the thing is, if this is a legitimate contract and it is real thing, I think it's bad from Capcom as well, because this is only apparently the amount of there's no money that's changed hands. According to the contract, all it is, you get £5 million of PlayStation advertising. They'll add PlayStation will do all the advertising for them to the equivalent cost of £5 million. Do you not think for a second Microsoft would have given them more than $5 million to put this on Game Pass, which they could have used on advertising and kept all the rest of the money that Microsoft was giving them to stick it on Game Pass?
Could this have been done though years ago before?
Apparently, it's 2 years old.
Right before Game Pass got big, but it's just odd. But to be fair, Sony have agreed to get like a 30-minute early access to a demo on top of an extra couple of demos that are only 1 day long. I mean, if they're that petty, they're going to pay to have a 30-minute early access to a timed exclusivity demo. It wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to keep stuff off Game Pass, though, would it really?
Mm-hmm.
And that demo is only live for a
day.
few hours on
Yeah.
that day, isn't it? So if you can't
Yeah.
log on at that time, you ain't playing that demo.
No, but you can get on it 30 minutes early if you've got a PS5.
Bizarre.
It's so weird, isn't it? It just baffles me.
Really strange.
It just
But if
it's
it's real,
just
Capcom got no money for it. It was just a bit of advertising. Like, have you seen a lot of advertising for the game with PlayStation at the end? I haven't seen any.
all of
I've
it.
seen about the game is Digital Foundry breakdowns.
They did, yeah, but all those Capcom showcases all said Sony, and they had what's
They
his
were
face,
Capcom
Kearney
ones.
coming out and saying how amazing it was, and yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
When did Returnal blow up?
Oh,
Eternal.
I don't know. That's like the current fanboy fight, isn't it? Returnal.
Yeah, they are driving that hard, and I'm like, what? I mean,
It's a drought. There's no other games about. It's the only game coming out. Everyone is on it hard. Like, there was a video the other day showing it. It's running at 1440p, not 4K. It hasn't got ray tracing like they said. Apparently, it's ray traced audio. And the LOD, like all the foliage, only loads 10 foot in front of the character, and they like walk back and forth, and you can see it disappearing. But when you're moving fast, it looks great. Like, you know, when you're dodging round and moving, and also it's got massive auto aim. Skillup, who I'm a big fan of his channel, was saying that you point your gun in the general direction of an enemy and it auto locks on and every bullet will hit. Your focus is just trying to avoid their bullets, not actually shooting them.
That sounds like Crackdown though, and that's quite fun. I must admit, I don't mind that.
At least
That's
Crackdown,
why
you can aim for
everybody was
different parts of the
saying.
body.
That's why everybody was saying it's their Crackdown.
Yeah. To be fair though, I've seen everyone
Actually,
saying it looks like Recore, but I haven't played Recore,
Yeah.
and all I've seen from it though is some Xbox fanboys asking for a FPS boost on Recore. So
Yeah.
I like Recore.
I'll take a FPS boost on games,
Record was
even if
really
it's.
nice.
Yeah, you should play Recore.
I will. I'll put it on my list to play. But
I only gave her an hour. I think I should have given more time, to be honest.
people just want to fight about stuff. They want their plastic box to be the superior plastic box, and they want to give themselves justification for spending £70 on a AA game. And if they enjoy it, why does it matter? It does.
Like, did you guys heard that about the guy that made the petition to put out Jim Ryan from the CEO position? That guy was on Jeff Grubb's podcast, and like when Jeff Grubbs asked about Returnal, he said that Returnal is way better than Halo.
Oh
It's
my
going to-
god.
It has a way better universe than Halo. Like,
Oh.
I saw someone
What?
saying that it has more innovative features, and then someone broke down all the systems from other games it's copying. It's like, yeah, nothing's innovative. It's literally just doing all these other games and using bits of them. I
yeah,
think the best game, like, you know, I'm not anti. Like, I know I come across this sometimes on you, like anti PlayStation and that, but I actually think some upcoming PlayStation games are great. Like Kenna. Kenna's the best looking game coming out. Apart from
yes.
Halo, because I'm a massive Halo fan. This year, that is the best looking game that's coming out in terms of the game I'm most interested in.
No, but like I think
They should be
Returnal
hyping
is
that up.
like, here's the thing. Everyone is criticizing Returnal, but I think it's going to be interesting. Like, if it's true that it has elements from Crackdown and elements from Record, I will like it. I like both of those games. I don't think they are not bad at all. I think they do have made mistakes, and I think they do have many flaws, but still, I think Return is good. It may be interesting. It's not going to be a what's the term, like a high score on Metacritic
A
game.
blockbuster.
Triple A,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Like,
It wouldn't surprise me if it does get a high
9+.
Metacritic score though, because all the fanboys are going to rush to its aid to sort of to push it up. So
Just like they are trying but failing to do with PL on the PS5 version, that has a lower score than on the Series X.
there's loads of stuff going on
Well-
Twitter right now, off topic, that's hinting that Forza Horizon 5 is in Mexico. So like Chloe Bryle, Jeff Grubb, and Jez Corden are all sort of making Mexico sort of hints.
Interesting.
That's different.
So
I
that's
like
Here's
that.
Here's the thing, I won't believe in any of that, because first of all, people said that it was going to be in Japan. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, people started to say that it was going to be in Brazil. And then now it's going to be in Mexico. Make up your mind. Just
I will
That's
say,
just what they wish where it would be.
Jeff Grubb was saying he was coming this year, but he wouldn't confirm Japan. And then he recently said it's definitely not Japan, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
now I'm gonna put a new rumor out of. Trust me, bro. I know things is going to be on Iceland. Simple as that.
I believe
that's
Jeff
just-
Grubb though. Jeff Grubb's normally right about stuff. So
Best
No,
thing.
yeah, I know. I'm not criticizing Jeff Grubb. It's just because I'm tired about where it's going to be.
Oh, I'm not going to make
Horizon
comment on
5.
people
The
making
next
bullshit
one's going to
excuses.
be on Mars. That's
Yeah.
it. There you go.
No, that's Fast
Yeah,
and the
ZRG
Furious.
Racing.
Is this enlisted footage my footage as well?
Yeah.
I just
I've-
watched myself get 5 kills in a chapel, and I was like, I'm sure I did something like this the other night.
I've had your enlisted, and I've had Slayer's Outriders and my
noticed that, yeah.
Dungeons
Thank
and
you.
Bombs. So-
You should actually discover that you stole his content. Close the free processing. That's it.
No, I appreciate it, and I was gonna tell you, like, you're more than welcome to put any of my content on here. You know, like
It saves me a lot of time because I used to have to sort of like stress myself to record stuff just for like 2.5 hours in case I needed it. So now I don't have to do that. It's
Go
great.
ahead.
We can
I
sort
have
of split
so much
between
content
each
out
other.
there.
So it's
Yeah,
good.
I have a lot. So go ahead, take whatever you
So-
need.
Any potato aim is flick back to Ash's footage all of a sudden. That's my excuse. Okay?
Yeah, that's it. Just keep flicking back to me even though I wasn't playing.
Mhm.
And we will end,
Moving
we will end on some positive Sony news though. The fans have
Amazing
spoken,
box.
and the PS3 and Vita stores will live on for an unspecified amount of time. So Sony have backtracked. Jim Ryan said we
Good.
got it wrong. We're
That's
listening to you. We're going to keep them live. The PSP store's dead though, so sorry PSP, you're gone. But the PS3 and the PS Vita stores will continue to operate. Doesn't say for how long, but it's at least some. I feel like they're going to just phase them out quietly in the future when there's more news on. Like they'll
With
do it
no
right around
warning?
big. Yeah, they'll do it very quickly with
free.
around big releases, so that it gets lost in the news.
No.
But for
I
now,
heard, sorry, I heard that even though the PSP store is going away, most of those games, not all of them, but most of them are, I believe, are on Vita or playable on Vita.
oh,
or,
that's
like, are
good
on
then.
the Vita store. Yeah.
But
so-
if you've not got a Vita and you want to play them on your PSP, you can't buy them and put them on your PSP anymore. You can still download them on your PSP, I think, but you won't be
Gotcha,
able to buy new ones on your PSP. You'd have
Mm.
to get the Vita version or something like that, I believe. Just makes it really awkward. So Sony
Yeah.
need to do something and like make the store compatible with all of their systems like Xbox does now, because the new store is
Mhm.
great.
yeah.
I heard through
I
the
think-
grapevine that they're not doing it for the players at all, that they made a knee-jerk decision that put them contractually on the wrong side of independent developers that had already agreed to put their stuff on those stores.
It wouldn't surprise me because the PS Vita people were still like about to release games and were like, "Oh shit!"
Apparently, people
So-
still
Yeah,
buying
yeah.
dev kits as well.
Did that see that
It
guy
was
that
all
they
fun
sold a
and
dev
benefits.
kit to like a
That's-
week before?
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's such a thing.
It'll quietly go away when those contracts quietly expire.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
just stop allowing new devs on, and they'll not give them licenses for another game, and then they've got nothing to
Yeah.
worry about there.
The only thing they'll learn is they'll kill it off when the contracts run out, like KY Bob said, and the next E3 comes up after that. When everyone's hyped about everything else, they'll kill it off because it won't make the news for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Good point.
But for now, at
Yeah,
least,
I
good
was
news
happy
for
with
those.
Thanks for destroying my happiness. I was great move, Sony. You are doing good, and then you just destroyed all the dreams. Yeah.
It is a good move,
Thank-
though. I'll say that is a good move. It seems a bit weird that if you can re-download the games anyway, why not just give you the option to buy it and then download it as a new customer?
Yeah,
Like,
the
I don't know
servers
why
must
you
still
get
be
it right.
there.
Yeah, it's
It's
bizarre.
nothing backwards compatibility. What about that?
Yeah, they can't sell you that though. So that's not the Sony way.
That's not necessarily. They need to do remasters and then sell you for full price.
Yeah.
70 bucks for you to play Ape Escape 1.
What was the Jim Ryan quote? Why would you want to play them? They look awful.
Yeah.
right.
I love it. I
don't
love
have,
it.
Like,
Oh.
I don't have a PS3 or a Vita, but is this something that's expensive to have those stores open, or is this something that is like not a big deal? I mean,
Who knows?
you know, like,
It can't cost that much. In the grand scheme of things, it can't cost much when they've already got the servers there to download the games to have like a storefront.
Right.
Because it's not like it's going to get overloaded by tens of thousands of people on it, is it? It doesn't need to be like the best of the best.
so,
Just to have it up with, and it can only like 10 people at once, it'll still not crash because no one's going to be on it hardly. But it's just the fact that those people that still play it and still support it. Like I would be upset if the Xbox 360 store shut down now because a lot of the games aren't backwards compatibility and like they're not on the new store. So I would be sad if the
Oh.
360 store shut down now. It'll come eventually, but for now I don't want it to. But
Fair
Maybe
enough.
it's linked to licenses and stuff as
No
well, though.
idea. No idea.
Because remember, like if you have all these old games on the store, to some degree, I think you still need like the license agreements to be active. Because remember, that's why a lot of games fall off of stores, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of really the servers, because like if you have the servers there to download the game, you don't really need the license, right? Because you already bought the game in the past.
Yeah.
But to have the game on the store, I think you do need like licenses, stuff like that. So that's probably the reason why.
Mhm.
I saw an interesting thing before actually about this, about how Nintendo do licenses for games. So like Xbox and Sony, you sell your game on the store for you say I want to sell for this many years, and they take 30% or whatever it is of every sale. Nintendo, you buy the license to sell your game up front. So you say I want to buy 1 million licenses because I'm going to sell 1 million copies, and if you go over that, you then have to pay to buy more licenses to then sell more copies of your game. But then if you don't sell all those licenses you've bought, you can't then cash them back in.
That's a bit crap, isn't it?
Well, not for Nintendo.
No, not
It's
for
a great way of doing
Nintendo.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, that's mad if that's really true.
Some develop. I can't remember which channel it was on. Some developer speaking about it. And he said like that's why you see a lot of cartridges go out, and then the digital store isn't pushed as much because they don't want you to actually buy like the downloads and stuff on the Switch and Nintendo stores, especially with the Wii U and like things before that. They kind of want to keep cartridges going because they get shafted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's dirty pull right there. Dirty pull.
Right, and I think that is everything we've got to discuss today. So, thank you to all of you guys for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's been watching, and all the people that have been chatting and asking questions and stuff. It's been nice to see it so active, and thank you for sticking with us for another quite a long episode, 2.5 hours we've put in this week. So,
That
big
was
thank
my
you to.
fault. I take the blame.
Yeah, it's always your fault. Yeah.
Can't shut him up, man. Once he gets going.
Just remember, Lord of the
Let's
Rings
just
is
hope
good. 50 reward points a day for getting achievements. Good.
I'm
Sony
back.
shutting game stores down. Bad.
Let's just hope that when you upload this episode to YouTube, it's not just the final 15 minutes of the
Yeah,
whole
I don't know what happened last week. For like the first 6 hours, for some reason, you could only access the last 15 minutes of the podcast, and then suddenly it worked. So I've no idea what was wrong. Thank you for joining us, Sensei, and everyone else. It's always nice to have you here. We'll be back next Saturday. In the meantime, check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of your social networking places. You can find us at XBL Party Podcast. It's on the screen right now. We've started uploading more review videos to the channel. Now my internet's back up, so we've put up In the Rays of Light, and Dungeons and Bombs reviews today. I'm working on Knight's Retreat, Chess Knights, Viking Lands, Sir Lovelot, and Stellatum reviews. That'll be up in the next couple of days as well. So
Wow.
keep your eyes on them. I've just got to get around to getting all the footage sorted, basically. Follow these guys on YouTube as well. If you go on our channel, just underneath the podcast category, there's links to all your guys' channels. And we will hopefully see you all next week. Anyone want to plug anything before we go?
Bob, you do have a podcast coming out soon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Monday, the 26th of April. In 2 days will be the inaugural episode of the Xbox Series podcast on KY Bob's YouTube channel.
And we're all
Nice.
guests.
Nice.
Congratulations.
I'm joking. We're not guests.
It will be at 7 p.m.
He's
Eastern.
already leaving us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so good luck with that. Like I say, we'll all be tuning in. If you want to find KY Bob's channel, it's obviously KY Bob, but like I say, it's already linked on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this now, just scroll down and click on Friends of the podcast, basically, and you'll find all the links there.
There is a slight possibility that the first episode may be canceled because I get my second COVID shot Monday morning.
Oh, damn.
Ooh. So he might knock you for 6.
I heard
So-
that second shot hits you like a ton of bricks. It
Yeah.
hits some people bad, so I don't know.
If any of you have got any of those COVID shots, I'll take one. I'm still trying to get one.
Getting my
Highlight.
second one.
So forget about the highlights from the podcast. It's not gonna happen. Shut it down.
I'm getting my second shot next week also. Oh boy.
I have a
We'll see
month.
what
I
happens.
just got mine. This is the first one this past Tuesday.
I
The
still need
first
to
one
get my
was a
first.
breeze.
I haven't got mine yet. I work every
I
day
haven't got
like
mine.
with people, and I've still not been able to get one. I'm gutted.
Wow.
So sad.
I just got mine because I work in manufacturing.
I work in local council, like in highways, so I have to deal with like customers
yeah.
and residents and site visits. And can I get one? No, I can't. I'm gutted. I'm gonna have to get one off
That
a guy in
doesn't
like
make
a
me
big
fun.
trench coat in like a car park or something like. You
There
want
must
some
be-
That's a nice way to
Pfizer?
end the episode. That's a really nice way to end the episode to talk about COVID.
Well, I'm in Wales, and we're in the top 5 in the world apparently for percentages of people who've had the injection, and I ain't had mine yet. So
Really?
I'm an outlier.
Well, sucks to be us, doesn't it, mate? That's what it is. But thank you, everyone, for watching. It's been great as always. Like I say, this will be up on YouTube shortly, and you'll be able to catch up with it on all your podcasting services, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast. I like your little arcade machine, Gina. And this will be up in the next couple of days. Depends how quick I get it uploaded. And until then, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Guys,
Bye, guys.